Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you on this lovely, fine evening, morning, wherever you are? I'm just going through your comments very briefly. Hold on, who said this? Oh, let me get let me get your name. There's a little call out over here. Okay, I'm not sure who said this, but they said it was Matthew. Yeah, it says this is my first live show. Super excited. Well, Matthew, we are all over the moon to be popping your proverbial live show cherry. So welcome to the show. Welcome to Space Force, right? They're keeping Space Force. Yes, the Biden administration is keeping a lot of things. We'll get to that in a second. So speaking of impeachment, Christ, I really didn't want to cover this. Like that, it's really a testament. It's really a testament to how nauseating and atrocious this entire circus has been the last 4 years. That they just won't let it go, right? To the point where you don't want to look at it. It's like but you can't help it. It's like just oh god. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Christ. Got a lot of legal stuff to get through today. I see we're 182 people watching. You know what I'm gonna say? Hit the like button, drone strike it, throw a shoe at it, do what you gotta do. Help out with the algorithm, and shout out to everyone who's watching on Rockfin, right? Rockfin is the place to be. So shout out to everybody on there, okay? And as always, roll call. All right, I want you to type that you're here, so I know that you're here. Roll call. That's the first thing we do when the class is in session. So, all right, let's get to the circus. You want to get to the circus? Let's go to the circus. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Here we go. So, I'm just gonna pull up this lovely little article that we have over here. Joyful. So, okay. Orange Cheeto Man. He's been acquitted again. I don't know how he keeps doing this, man. He's the first president in United States history to not only be impeached twice, but to be acquitted by the Senate twice. Okay. It's quite extraordinary, to be honest. Let's look at the article very quickly. This is from the Guardian. Okay. So you can see it says down here, the Senate failed to achieve 2/3 majority needed to convict, right? So when we're talking about the Senate, the United States Senate, what does that mean? That means 67 out of 100 senators needed. Okay, so they didn't get 67. They got close though. They got close, right? Closer than you might think. So here we go. Let me zoom in for you. Maybe you can read that then. The 57-43 vote was most bipartisan support for conviction ever, all right, in a presidential impeachment trial. And they were coming out and they were saying like, oh, well, this is, it's still a victory. It's still a victory because it's the most bipartisan impeachment ever. Yeah, but you didn't get a conviction. I've never heard of a lawyer walking out of a courtroom and saying, that they got a win after they didn't get a win. But anyway, we all know this is a clown show. It's a theater. So let's go along with the play for now. Okay. So the result, which was never in doubt, really, you don't say. I'm astounded by this. I'm astounded that this is even written in the article because, I for the life of me, I'm certain everyone knew Trump was going to be convicted in the Senate, right? He's going to end up in Guantanamo Bay tomorrow morning. Everyone knew this. Wait, so you're telling me this whole thing was a waste of time again? Really? No. Why would the Democrats ever do such a thing like that? Why would they waste time? Like they just got Biden elected, right? Buildbackbetter.gov. Biden is here, the savior, right? They just took back the Senate, barely. They've got the House. Why would they waste time on a guy who's not even in office anymore when they had 4 years and a lot of other reasons going? It's weird, right? It's weird, knowing full well that he's not going to get convicted in the Senate. And you have to keep in mind, this is not a criminal case, right? It's not like he's going to get punished or something. The best they can hope for is that afterwards, if they had gotten a conviction in the Senate, they would go and then try to prevent him from being able to run for president again, right? And they're even saying right now, well, oh, it's not so bad because, you know, Trump could still face civil and criminal charges. Well, why the fuck did you waste everyone's time then? Just if you have grounds for criminal and civil charges, I mean, because it's a theater. Anyway, let's continue. Yes? The results, which was never in doubt, reflected both the still raw anger of senators over Trump's conduct as his supporters stormed the Capitol last month. Now, here they're trying to give you the drip about your new heroes, right? So just like they've been doing with Liz Cheney, the daughter, the demon spawn of Dick Cheney, who's responsible for untold amounts of suffering and destruction, and he and Bush should have been impeached. Here, you know, they're trying to do this over here. So among the Republicans who broke ranks were Richard Burr of North Carolina, who's the scumbag who's doing insider trading. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitt Romney of Utah. Mitt Romney, yes. Ben Sasse of Nebraska, and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. Great. So remember these names because the Democrats are going to make a big fuss over them for the foreseeable future, okay? So as I said here, Trump was the first U.S. president to be impeached twice and is now the first president to be twice acquitted. If convicted, the Senate could have voted to bar him from holding office in the future, but this decision paves the way should Trump want to run again for another tilt at the White House in 2024. So again, that's the best you could have gotten out of this, right? And it begs the question. I mean, it begs the question, in the middle of a pandemic, yes, in the middle of an economic crisis, how many Americans are under or uninsured right now? 33 million. It's nearing the 40 million. I mean, we're talking catastrophic figures here, right? They still haven't given you the checks. Why would Democrats ever waste such valuable, precious time on such an endeavor? I mean, what's the goal here? You just want to stop him from running in 2024? And now here's what you'll hear, right? You have people come along and say, hey, man, you have to hold him accountable. It's for the principle. You have to hold him accountable. Okay. Where the fuck were you the last 4 years, you fucking asshole? Where were you when he was the president? When you could have actually done some shit? If you are so concerned, right? Where were you the last 4 years? Because believe me, I can assure you, abuse of power, which is what they got him for in 2019, this phone call with Ukraine, and this right now, high crimes and misdemeanors, that pales in comparison to all the other shit that he was doing when he was president. Okay? It pales. So just to refresh, just to jog your memory a little bit, right? In case you've forgotten, right? If you're so concerned with Trump's bad behavior, I'm sure you would not have forgotten any of the things I'm about to mention, right? Concerned citizen. Here, yes, this is by Mehdi Hassan. Again, I lower my shoe a little bit, just slightly. Because he does some good things from time to time. He does. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Anyway, look, so over here, this, for example, this, by the way, Mehdi Hassan, he didn't write this now. This is from 2019. This is around the first impeachment, right? So the article is called The A to Z of Trump Impeachment. Look, just for Amazon alone, right? Trump has personally and repeatedly instructed the Postmaster General to double shipping rates for Amazon in an attempt to inflict billions of dollars of new costs on founder and CEO Jeff Bezos. So, I mean, again, we're not going to cry for Jeff Bezos here. That's not the point. But, you know, the president holding an office of that caliber, you know, as a public servant, you can't be meddling in things like that. That's just, it's unacceptable. Bigotry, right? I'm not going to repeat these things. You know what he said. What I'm particularly concerned with, emoluments clause, of course, but what I'm particularly concerned with, look at Syria. Okay, we go down to Syria over here. Less than 3 months, 3 fucking months after entering office in April 2017, Trump launched airstrikes against Syria without a vote in Congress. Right? So ever since Bush and Dick Cheney passed the War Powers Act, right? I mean, we can't give them all the credit. It was a bipartisan effort, right? It's always bipartisan when it's war and corporate handouts. So they got the War Powers Act in 2001, 2003 to attack Iraq, to invade Afghanistan. They're still there 2 decades later. And they've been using that as the legal framework ever since, every president, to do whatever the fuck they like. And they're not allowed to do that, of course. But that's what they've been doing. All of them. Obama, Trump, now Biden. That's what they've been doing. Okay? So Mehdi Hassan is a great list over here. He includes Yemen as well, right? Same thing. He dropped bombs without congressional approval. And again, this is a point I always underscore this. Even if Trump had congressional approval, that doesn't mean anything. The U.S. Congress does not have jurisdiction over the planet. It doesn't matter if every single senator and every single congressperson votes to go to war. It doesn't mean you have the right to go to war. It's still a crime of aggression. It's still illegal under international law. You can't just do whatever the fuck you like. Okay? Unless you think America is the world police and you believe in American exceptionalism, then that makes sense in your brain. But nonetheless, just we're talking, by the book, the U.S. book, could have impeached him just for that alone. There's so much on this list. I mean, emoluments clause, right? Profiting while in office. It's really extensive. When did the Democrats give a shit about that? Why do they care just now? Bear with me, man. Calm down. Bear with me. Could it be that this is all theater? No. Why would the Democrats do that? Are they really so malfeasant? Could they really do such a thing? The Democrats, they're angels, as we all know. Why would they do that? It's not like they want to fuck you over and neglect workers as they always do. And it's not like they've gone back on every single promise, right? I mean, they couldn't even keep their word for $2,000 checks. What makes you think that these people are so, of such strong moral fiber that they would be appalled to such an extent? And again, I think the worst aspect of this, the worst aspect of Trump being acquitted, it's not that the guy's escaping accountability. If you wanted to hold Trump accountable, you would have held him accountable a long time ago for a lot of other shit that is way worse, way fucking worse. Okay? You still could technically, right? They're going after him right now when he's out of office. They're not doing it for anything that I just mentioned, for the whole list. Yeah? So the worst aspect here is not Trump getting away and escaping accountability. The worst aspect here is they're going to fucking milk this dry, man. They are going to milk this bitch till the end of days. You know it. You fucking know it. This is perfect. This is a great outcome for the Democrats. You know why? It's a great outcome for the media as well. Because now they can keep on with this narrative that, oh my God, look, Trump, he escaped accountability. This is going to embolden and galvanize his base. Oh my God, they're coming for us. Quick, we got to pass some new domestic terror laws. If you open your mouth about AOC, you are a Nazi. It's going to fucking snowball, and you know it. If they'd actually convicted him, they would have shut the fuck up maybe about it and just put it to bed, right? I mean, they would have found something else, of course, but they would have put it to bed. No, we're going to keep hearing about this. And we're going to keep hearing, oh my God, maybe he's running in 2024. They're doing it right now. They're still doing it. Where is this indication that Trump wants to run in 2024? Like, can you show me a shred of evidence from him or from his camp or from his entourage, son entourage? Can you show me a shred of evidence that he wants to run in 2024? Or is that just bullshit? Are you just fear-mongering? Are you just keeping on with Orange Man bad for the next 4 fucking years? Oh my God, they just don't stop, man. They just don't stop. This is theater. This is bullshit. You elected Joe Biden. I mean, if you voted for Joe Biden, my condolences. You must be feeling pretty cocked right about now. If you voted for Joe Biden, you were thinking, oh yeah, man, we're going to restore unity and dignity and healing, hashtag healing to the White House. And, he's shitty, but like, he's not stinky like Trump. He's not that bad. Oh no, you could argue he's way worse. That motherfucker has been in government 50 years. 50 years, man. He's been crawling around that cesspit in Washington, D.C. He been jerking off his friends left and right on both sides of the aisle, reaching around, doing favors. He knows everybody. Everyone knows Joe Biden, and Joe Biden knows everyone in town, right? He's as corrupt as it fucking gets. He's an architect of the system that gave you Trump. So if you think you elected some fucking saint, you better think twice. And he's showing it to you already in the first couple of weeks that, we're going to give more priority. His entire party is going to give more priority and more attention, and the media as well, to Donald Trump, who's not even in fucking office anymore. Not the checks, not healthcare, not COVID relief, not actually fixing, all the crap that Trump did, which they said they were going to fix, right? They kept telling you, oh my God, look how he's mismanaged everything. He's reckless. Oh my God, the country is going to, he's going to drive it into the ground. We have to elect Biden. Oh my God, I know you don't like him, but we have to elect him because look at what Trump is doing. What the fuck is Biden doing? Why are we still talking about Trump? What is going on here? What is this? Where are the checks? Where are the fucking checks? Where's the money, Lebowski? Where is it? Where is it? How can you look, man? People constantly compare what's going on right now, the economic crisis, the pandemic, to World War II. They say, oh my God, it's like the Great Depression, something of enormous grandeur, right? Something of a huge caliber, extreme proportions. And what does that mean? What are they implying? It means you need action. You need a solution also of such proportions. This is not it. If you're concerned with fixing all the shit Trump did, you would not be wasting time over this. I can assure you that. This is another excuse to fuck you. This is another excuse to fuck you. That's what it is. That's as simply as I can put it. They're wasting time. They're dragging their feet. They told you $2,000 checks out the door, right out the gate. Okay? That means we understand there's a sense of urgency. No, they don't. No, they don't. To them, the sense of urgency is Trump, right? And now it's going to always be Trump. They're always going to have this in the back of your fucking mind. Like, careful, the orange man is going to come get you. Orange Cheetah Man. His supporters, they're out there. Yo, where are the checks? What are you doing about the millions of unemployed? What are you doing about the millions without healthcare? What are you doing about the people that are under fucking sanctions, dragging your feet? This is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable. So take it as you will, man. Take it as you will. Me personally, I think if you're going to hold Donald Trump accountable, by all means, please do. But how about you actually do it for some shit that, first of all, has caused way more suffering, is way more serious. One of them being Syria, one of them being Yemen. These are just a few examples. And more importantly, would actually have a higher chance of getting a fucking conviction in the Senate. Isn't that smarter if you really want to hold them accountable? No. What did they do? They picked the mildest crap that was guaranteed to not get a conviction. Let me just remind you something real quick. Let me just remind you something, because I think this is very important for perspective, for context. This is Nancy Pelosi in 2019. Okay? 2019. It's not long ago, man. It's a year and a half ago. 18 months. Look at what she's saying in 2019. Nancy Pelosi. She's being interviewed over here. All right? So, Speaker Pelosi, you resisted calls for the impeachment of President Bush in 2006 and President Trump following the Mueller report earlier this year. This time it's different. Why did you oppose impeachment in the past? And what is your obligation to protect our democracy from the actions of our president now? And then Pelosi says, thank you for bringing up the question about, because when I became speaker the first time, I'm not going to do the whole thing. She says, when I became speaker the first time, there was overwhelming call for me to impeach President Bush on the strength of the war in Iraq. You don't say. No shit. Which I vehemently oppose, she says. And again, I said again at other places, Christ, I can't even read. She's fumbling so much. I can't. Who transcribed this? Whoever transcribed this should be impeached. Listen, she said at other places that was my we all has always PH in challenge. Okay, I was ranking member on the Intelligence Committee even before I became part of the leadership of Gang of Four. So I knew, pay attention, so I knew there were no nuclear weapons in Iraq. It just wasn't there. Let me repeat that for you. Nancy Pelosi saying, I knew there were no nuclear weapons in Iraq. All right? They had to show the Gang of Four all the intelligence they had. The intelligence did not show that that was the case. So I knew it was a misrepresentation to the public. But having said that, it was, in my view, not a ground for impeachment. She says that was, they won the election, they made a representation, and to this day, people think that it was the right thing to do. What is she babbling on about in the last sentence? I don't know if you can make that out because it's out of frame, but she says if people think that Iraq had something to do with 9/11, I mean, it's as appalling what they did. And I've said if somebody wants to make a case, you bring it forward. What gibberish is that? Okay, gibberish aside, she is still saying in 2019 that she has no regrets about impeaching Bush. And in the same breath, she says, yeah, but I know he lied. Not like conjecture or, you know, speculatively, like, yeah, I know he lied. It's George Bush. No. She's saying, I saw the intelligence and there were no nukes. That's the level of I knew he lied. Okay, she had the fucking briefs. She was briefed on the shit and she knew he lied and didn't impeach him when she became speaker afterwards, a few years later. So someone please, for the love of God, rationalize this for me, please. How can you impeach Trump 2 fucking times, but you let Bush go? How does that make sense? In what world, in what universe does that make sense? If you're all about accountability, if you're all about holding people in power who assume the highest office in the land accountable, surely you must not be okay with this. Surely you must be fucking fuming that she would do this. And it's the same woman. We're not talking about, it's the same party and, you know, there's a double standard with the way they operate. No, it's the same woman and the same party. And this is just a few years ago. And she has no regrets about it. In what universe does this make sense? Could someone please explain that to me? You know, it makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. These people are, my point here is that these people, Nancy Pelosi, her party, because again, she's saying this in 2019, not back then. She hasn't changed her mind. She's still saying this. These people are not interested in justice. Do you get that? So this is a fucking theater. This shit with Trump, it's a theater. If they were interested in justice, they would have gone after Bush. They would have gone after every motherfucker in his administration. Dick Cheney would be in a fucking jail cell right now. That bastard. Those 2 men, they are responsible. I mean, look, they went wild after 9/11. The entire world that we live in now, this post 9/11 world, was crafted by that administration predominantly. Okay? By the neocons. And every president since, Obama, Trump, Biden, you know, sure, you can find some differences here and there, but generally, they're just continuing the shit. Don't kid yourself, man. Stop being a fool. Stop being a fool. You seen any of them close down Guantanamo? You seen any of them cut the surveillance programs? You seen any of them repeal the tax cuts? You seen any of them cut the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq? No, they done nothing but expand every single thing I just listed to you. And I know there are people who say like, yeah, you know, they joke that, oh, well, Biden is like the 10th Reagan administration. Yeah, okay, fine. But I think Bush and Cheney, the Bush administration, is really a milestone. It's really, you know, a line in the sand when you had a huge a shift, not just in the US, but worldwide, right? We talk about a post 9/11 world, and that was crafted by them. And these motherfuckers, Pelosi, Biden, who were there at the time, they were in government, they let them get away with it. They fucking let them get away with it, and they still do, and they would do it again. So don't come here and tell me that they care about justice. These people are fucking clowns. They're actors. They're corrupt. And the only thing that they're doing is running theater now because they're not interested in helping helping the working class, doing anything that they pretended. It's all bullshit, man. They even shorted you on a goddamn $2,000 check. What do you expect from these people? Like, I mean, don't give them the benefit of the doubt. They're scum. They're scum. I mean, this woman, I don't know how she can say that out loud, but this is horrendous. She has no shame, truly. So, you know, Orange Cheetah Man, honestly, you know, good riddance, but, you know, now we have to tolerate the man who orchestrated the system that gave us Trump. How is that any better? Is it any better? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's the same shit, different day. So, I don't know if I heard someone gave a super chat, or maybe it was on the screen. Did it work on the screen? Because they disappeared for a while on the screen. I think it should be back now. Let me read it to you. By the way, we got 478 people watching. Make sure you hit the like button. We have a lot to cover, man. We have a lot to cover. Don't go nowhere. So Convo Couch says, hey, Richie, I don't know if you know this, but this insurrection was worse than 9/11. Oh, good sir. I'm overcome with emotion. I can't. That. If you listen to the fucking Democrats and you listen to some Republicans, right? It's amazing how they've become more bipartisan than ever, right? They're saying it to you. This is the most bipartisan impeachment. If you listen to them, they act like it's the worst thing since God, I almost said Pompeo. That too, but Pompeii, right? When this city was turned to ash. They really act like it's worse than 9/11. It's fucking amazing. It really is. Holly, thank you for the super chat. Says, I know it's not much. Thank you for your dedication and devotion. I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you. Thank you for your support, Holly. I really appreciate that. And if you guys would like to, yes, I can see it. It's working on the screen. Excellent. So if you want your super chat or whatever to show up on the screen down here, then you can do it with the Streamlabs link, I think. And it's better than YouTube because YouTube takes a cut of everything. But it will still show up if you do it on YouTube. So whatever you want. Ronaldo says, Bush is the one who first laid the groundwork for Trump. Absolutely. Absolutely. When we talk about Biden being an architect of the system, I say that because, I mean, how many years has the guy been in government? 40 years? I said 50 before, but it's closer to 40 years, right? He's been in that cesspit. He was head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, helped Bush with the Iraq War. You look at the crime bill, the bankruptcy bill. You look at his bragging about working with segregationists. I mean, yeah, this guy is definitely an architect of the system. But as I said, Bush Cheney, man, this was an evolution or a devolution, if you will. It really changed the world. I mean, I think all of you recognize that. I don't really need to spell this out. But absolutely, you're completely right, Ronaldo. Trey, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I don't think there's a note there, but merci beaucoup nonetheless. So let me get to the next segment. I just need a sip of water if you'll permit me. So Christ, man, we got a lot to cover. It's a lot of it is to do with law for some reason. All right, let's go. So I'm just pulling up the window for you. Wonderful. So you guys might have seen this headline or heard of this story about the International Criminal Court and Israel and Palestine, right? So I'm going to break this down for you and explain what happened. So the International Criminal Court, it's headquartered at The Hague in the Netherlands. And the ruling that they published on February 5th was they didn't accuse, they didn't officially charge anyone with war crimes. They didn't actually convict anyone. It's not even at that stage yet. The only thing that they decided on February 5th is that they're going to expand the ICC's territorial jurisdiction, to the Palestinian territories occupied by Israel illegally since 1967, right? So just to show you on the map, take a look. Here you go. So, right. So, okay, they've given Sinai back to Israel, to Egypt, but Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem, that's what we're talking about here predominantly. Okay. So the Golan Heights, that's Syria. We'll get to that later. But this story with the ICC, we're talking about the West Bank. We're talking about Gaza. We're talking about East Jerusalem. Okay. And I mean, there's really no debate here that these are illegally occupied by Israel. This goes back to the 1967 war. There are countless UN Security Council resolutions saying that Israel needs to fuck off. Nonetheless, Netanyahu, he went on a tirade. He lost his shit. I'm going to play it to you because it's look at him. Listen to what he says, huh? Pay attention.
When the ICC investigates Israel for fake war crimes, this is pure anti-Semitism. The court established to prevent atrocities like the Nazi Holocaust against the Jewish people is now targeting the one state of the Jewish people. First, it outrageously claims that when Jews live in our homeland, this is a war crime. Second, it claims that when democratic Israel defends itself against terrorists who murder our children, rocket our cities, we're committing another war crime. Yet the ICC refuses to investigate brutal dictatorships like Iran and Syria, who commit horrific atrocities almost daily. As Prime Minister of Israel, I assure you, we will fight this perversion of justice with all our might. When the ICC
Did you see that at the end? With all our might. He's such a shitty actor. I mean, damn, I expected better from him. He's not this bad usually. You're losing your touch, man. Okay, first of all, let's dispel some of the bullshit he said. He says the ICC is investigating Israel for war crimes. The ICC does not prosecute countries. It prosecutes people, individuals. Like you. Yes, you, Mr. Netanyahu. Yes. And your predecessors. And your military leaders. And your cabinet. But not countries. Okay? It doesn't go after entire countries. Also, he says fake war crimes. Are you really? You're sure about that? Fake war crimes? I seem to recall them being quite real. Yeah. I mean, this is just one instance. Israel bulldozing Palestinian homes to build illegal settlements. This is one instance among, Jesus Christ, who knows how many. Countless. Here's another one. During the right to return marches in 2018, 2019. This is a sniper talking to Haaretz. He says he shot 42 knees in one day. Here's another instance. Israel bombed a school in Gaza in 2014. They killed 15 children and left 200 wounded. So the ICC, another thing that Netanyahu doesn't tell you is that ICC, by saying that they have jurisdiction in the occupied territories, West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, it means they can also investigate Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. But if Netanyahu tells you that, then he can't play the victim, right? So if you watch that video and you don't know anything about this, you might think, oh my God, yeah, they're so anti-Semitic, they're going after Israel. No. The prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda, the chief prosecutor of the ICC, she opened this investigation in 2019. And it's not just about Israel. It also includes Hamas and the PA. But he didn't tell you that, did he? Let me play you the video, okay? So here's the chief prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda.
I am satisfied that there is a reasonable basis to proceed with an investigation into the situation in Palestine, pursuant to Article 53(1) of the statute. In brief, I am satisfied, 1, that war crimes have been or are being committed in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip. 2, that potential cases arising from the situation would be admissible. And 3, that there are no substantial reasons to believe that an investigation would not serve the interest of justice.
Right, so those are the main criteria of the Rome Statute. The Rome Statute is the treaty that formed the ICC in 1998. And those are the three criteria, that the main criteria you have to meet before you can launch an investigation. So this is in 2019. And all she wanted to do, so she's convinced there's evidence of war crimes and it's going to stand up in court. And what she wanted to do is make sure that the ICC has jurisdiction in these Palestinian territories. And that's the decision that was delivered here, because Israel is not a member of the International Criminal Court, right? They signed it and then they notified the UN Under Secretary General that they no longer want to be a part of it. So the Israelis thought they're very smart, right? Like, oh yeah, we'll get out of the Rome Statute, we'll leave it. Then the ICC can't go after us because we're not a member and the Palestinians don't have a state. Yeah, well, turns out you fucked up. So the Palestine in 2012, they got non-member state observer status at the UN. And then in 2015, they acceded to the Rome Statute, right? And this decision came out on February 5th is just to set a precedent that, yes, can go ahead with this. And the main things that she talks about that they want to investigate, the first one is the war in 2014. Okay, so this was between July and August. It was around 7 weeks in 2014, July 7th to August 26th. Israel invaded Gaza, right? Ground invasion, and they were bombing the shit out of it. 65% of everyone who was killed, civilians. 25% of the casualties were children. You with me? 65%. That's not a few accidents. That's deliberate. And you go read the UN report. They note in the report that Israel was targeting residential buildings on purpose. Most people who died were in their homes or near their homes. Okay, so 2,252 casualties, 65% of them civilians, 25% children. The Israelis, 67 soldiers were killed and 6 civilians. And one of the civilians was from Thailand, I think. That's 8% versus 65%. So you look at that and you tell me who's a terrorist. You tell me who's deliberately targeting civilians. And with a fucking Air Force, right? They fired tens of thousands of tank shells. They conducted 6,000 airstrikes. 6,000 airstrikes. Palestinians don't even have a fucking Air Force. I mean, it's to call it asymmetrical is a fucking understatement. So that's number one. That's a war in 2014. The second thing, the right to return protests. So if you've seen Abby Martin's film, Gaza Fights for Freedom, that's what it's about, right? 2018, 2019, you had Palestinians that were doing the right to return marches. They're just protesting the border. They're not armed. They're just civilians. They're protesting that we want to go home because, you know, Palestinians are refugees. They're stateless on their own land since 48. So what happened is the Israelis ended up, man, they shot 90% of people who were injured. It was in the lower limbs. So they were targeting them. They were shooting them in their lower limbs on purpose. I showed you that headline before of the sniper boasting that he shot 42 knees in a single day. I mean, this is incredible. You had hundreds of people that had to have their fucking legs amputated. 22 of them were kids. And they're shooting them with live fucking ammunition, right? It's astonishing. Every single day you had someone either injured, crippled or killed. It's fucking unbelievable. So that's the other thing. And the third thing is the illegal settlements, right? So as I showed you here on the map, you know, Israel is still illegally occupying Gaza. Gaza's under siege. They're illegally occupying the West Bank. They're illegally occupying East Jerusalem. And, you know, they just regularly demolish Palestinian homes with bulldozers. And then, you know, they just leave Palestinians homeless, right? And they build illegal settlements so that Jewish settlers from all over the world can just go and live there, right? So I'm sure you've seen a plethora of videos before. This is a daily occurrence. This is just every day, right? This is normal in Palestine. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. It's truly sickening. And so just to elaborate on that, why this is illegal under international law, this is ethnic cleansing. This is a transfer of population, right? You're kicking out the Palestinians from their own fucking land so you can move your population in. That remind you of something? That's ethnic cleansing. That's a crime against, those are crimes against humanity, okay? And that's covered under the Rome Statute. And so that's why she's investigating this as well. So those three things, those are the main things that she wants to investigate. And she hasn't even charged anyone with a fucking crime. She hasn't even, no one's been convicted. And you can see they're losing their shit, right? Not just Netanyahu. You also had the German foreign minister. You had the Hungarian foreign minister saying, oh, you can't do this. You can't do this because Palestine is not a state. And so, you know, this is illegal under international law. You don't have jurisdiction in Palestine. Palestine is not a state. You motherfuckers. Germany abstained when they were voting on Palestinian statehood in 2012. Do you see this shit? They're like, they prevent Palestinians from having their own state. And then when Palestinians try to, join international accords or obtain international justice, they're like, no, you can't do that. You're not a state. This is the mental gymnastics here. It's so infuriating. It really is. It's their fucking land, you asshole. God, I'm not doing this. I'm not dignifying this bullshit. And look at this. This is Danny Dunnan. So we've covered him before, right? He sat down he's the UN, he's the Israeli permanent representative to the United Nations. And so he sat down at the General Assembly last year, and he brings a Bible with him. And he's like, look, we have biblical rights to the West Bank, which we want to annex. Yeah, okay, but the Bible is not international law. You're illegally occupying it. Yes, that's him. And so look what he says here. He posts on Twitter, reacting to this announcement, to this ruling by the International Criminal Court. He says, Fatou Bensouda, he doesn't even spell her name right. It's Fatou, not Fatsu. It says, Fatou Bensouda, chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, should be indicted, not Israel. The fucking stones on this guy. I mean, seriously, the fucking stones. I mean, just put that into perspective. Could you imagine another country saying that? Like, just I don't know. Imagine, I don't know, Venezuela, Syria, right? Imagine them coming under fire from the ICC, and then they're like, "Hey, fuck you! You should be indicted." I mean, you would look at that and you would be like, "What is that?" But somehow Israel gets away with it, right? And of course, it goes without saying, the United States also condemned the ruling, right? Which the United States is not a part of the ICC either. And they actually sanctioned Fatou Bensouda. I covered it, right? We did a video. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. Yeah, this was back in June last year. Trump sanctioned her. And the head of the jurisdiction also at the ICC, Ficaso Muchachoco, he sanctioned both of them. Why? Because they're investigating U.S. war crimes in Afghanistan. And so, again, the way this works is that it doesn't matter if the U.S. Refused to ratify the treaty and notify the UN Undersecretary General that they want to leave the Rome Statute. Afghanistan, the victim, right? The victim is a party to the Rome Statute. So you just need one or the other, either the aggressor or the victim to be a party of the Rome Statute for an investigation to go on. And so, the Trump administration was like, okay, we're banning you from coming to the U.S. You're not allowed to come here. We're going to sanction you. Fucking hell. I mean, the nerve is unbelievable, truly. It's really something. And, this is a thread that I had posted about 2014, about the war on Gaza, right? Like I told you, the correct figure is around 2,252, 2,251. And again, it's 65% civilians, 25% of them children. 1,000 kids were left permanently disabled. And in the UN report, if you read it, it says that 20% of the population in Gaza is going to need mental health treatment because of the psychological trauma from this. I mean, it's horrific. It's really horrific. You can't even read one page. You get lost because there's so many casualties. You have one guy talking about the fucking living room like being swallowed into the ground and his entire family being killed. He wakes up the next morning and they tell him his whole family's been killed. Horrific shit. And another guy, it's horrible. And this is what Gaza still looks like, right? Because they're not allowed to bring in construction materials. It looks like this. It still looks like this since 2014. Because the Israelis are like, oh no, you're terrorists. We can't let you have concrete or cement, or we can't let you build. No, that's not allowed. So you can live like this. I mean, I don't know any country in the world that gets away with this kind of fucking genocide and atrocities. I really don't know. And of course, they bombed 118 UN facilities, right? And that's nothing new, right? They've also killed the UN personnel in Lebanon from the UNIFIL mission. I mean, this is regular occurrence with Israel, right? They kill civilians. They kill journalists. They target journalists on purpose. They target medics on purpose. They try to cripple entire generations of Palestinians, and they even kill people from the UN. They do not give a fuck. And so finally, you have one fucking instance where they might be held accountable. Might, because again, Fatou Bensouda, her term is up. It's 9 years. It's up in June, I think. So there'll be a new chief prosecutor. Who knows what they do? But at least we have the precedent now. But the one time you finally have some glimmer that, Palestinians get some justice, look at how they're outraged. They're so used to shitting on Palestinians. They're so used to getting away with fucking anything. The Israelis, they really are. That the fact you would come here and say, hey, hold on a second, what you did here, that's a crime against humanity. What you did there, that's a war crime. They're outraged. Like, how dare you? And again, I repeat to you, Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, they could also face prosecution. It says so in the 2019 preliminary report from Fatou Bensouda. And again, she says it on the February 5th announcement, on February 5th ruling. It's not just about Israel. And nonetheless, Hamas and the PA, they welcomed it. I can imagine why, because, just think, just as an example, I mean, you might get 20 people from Hamas, maybe, like that's the best case scenario, right? Where usually you get one person or two people actually in the docket at The Hague. But, you might have 10 people, 20 people, 30 people charged with war crimes. You go to the Israeli side, Jesus Christ, man, that list is going to be fucking long. And I know the Palestinians, right? I know that they would say fuck it, right? That's like they would be ready to accept whatever consequences, knowing that the Israelis will be punished for what they did, because it's far greater what they did. It's not even comparable. I just told you the figures. It's not even close. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd. 65% civilians killed on the Palestinian side. I mean, that's deliberate. That's fucking deliberate. We're talking about a country that receives $3.8 billion every year in military aid from the United States. They have state-of-the-art machinery. They know exactly what the fuck they are doing. Okay? They know exactly what they're doing. Look, you got Palestinian kids doing their homework with candlelight. I mean, what kind of a way to live is that? What is that? This is on their own land. And, the nerve of the Israelis to come here and say, like, oh, Palestine is not a state, so you don't have jurisdiction. What the fuck? They're not a state because you're illegally occupying them, you fuck. I mean, the mental gymnastics here, the nerve that they just say this shit so shamelessly, right? Look, I'm gonna show it to you from the February 5th ruling. Look at this. Israel adds. So Israel contends that it is clear that the Palestinian entity does not now hold, nor has it ever held, sovereign title over the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, a territory that in fact has always been under the effective control of others. Dude, this is, I really can't overstate how fucking absurd that is. Because when it suits the Israelis, they're like, oh no, we're not occupying these territories. Look, the Palestinians, they have full control over their own affairs. And they did this trick a few weeks ago, right? With the COVID vaccines. So you'll see a lot of headlines saying, oh, look, Israel, they've inoculated more people than any other country. Look how brilliant they are. Look how effective they are. Yeah, because they're not counting Palestinians there. Palestinians are not being vaccinated. And the response is, oh, the Palestinians, they're independent. They have self-determination. They're responsible for their own affairs. Just look at the Oslo Accords. But then when the Palestinians they've already acceded to the Rome Statute. And when they try to get jurisdiction from the ICC, oh, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, come here. No, they're not a state. They're not, no, they can't do that. No, we don't have, we're not equal. The fucking nerve, man, really. It's insane. No country on earth gets away with this shit. It's truly something. So I hope that kind of summarizes everything for you. About what's happening, and there you go. So, all right. I heard a couple of super chats. Let me read them to you before I get to the next segment. All right, and thank you again for supporting independent media. And I urge you very strongly to go subscribe on Rockfin. Again, it's free and it don't cost you nothing. We got, by the way, I'm gonna read the tips that we got on Rockfin. All right, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is from this is from the Convo Couch as well. Say Dick going hard tonight. You know it. Thank you, Brian, for the tip. There's no note attached, but I appreciate it. Andrea says, I hate how Israel always plays the anti-Semite card. It's not just Netanyahu, but he's one of the worst. I mean, again, it's so absurd to say this because the ICC, again, is going after people, individuals, not countries. And he says they're going after the Jewish state. No, they're not. They're going after military leaders, officials, politicians. They've done this for other countries. You know, the chief prosecutor, Bensouda, she's from Gambia. And you have African leaders who've accused her of being too biased against Africa. So, you know, every person who's targeted by the ICC is going to end up saying like, oh yeah, you're biased against us or you're racist against us. Yeah, of course, because they're being investigated for fucking war crimes. Of course, of course they're going to say that shit. They're war criminals. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Come on. Also, especially Netanyahu. Come on. And not to mention the scope of the investigation of the ICC is not confined to just Israel. It fucking says that it's also going to investigate Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. It's not just about you. What are you talking about? He knows he's guilty. That's what it is. That's what it's about. He's fucking scared. All right. That's what it's about. So anyway, we got a super chat over here from Sam K. Thank you, Sam. Says, dude, love your show. You need to have a segment with Palestinian activist Miko Pellet. I've had Miko on before, not on here, but on my TV show on the Communique. He's great. Oh, he's great, man. He's written some great books as well. The General's Son, I believe, was the title of it. I hope I'm not butchering it, but I had him on with Chris Williamson. We did a great episode about Jeremy Corbyn. So yeah, he's really tight, man. You should watch his videos. We got a super chat over here from Ignitable Bump. It says, on February 13th, 1991, 30 years ago. Hold on, let me expand this because I can't read the whole thing. The U.S. intentionally bombed the Amiria civilian air raid shelter, massacring 408 Iraqi civilians, including 261 women and 52 children. We were talking about that in the Discord, right? And I mean, again, it's astonishing the shit that the U.S. gets away with, but particularly Israel, I would say, because, you know, there is a caveat though, because the Rome Statute, the ICC, they added a crime of aggression to the Rome Statute. What does that mean? Crime of aggression? That's Iraq. That's Afghanistan, right? That's Tony Blair and George Bush deciding to just go and fucking bomb another country because they don't like who's in charge there. That's a crime of aggression, right? And guess what? The UK didn't ratify it. How convenient, right? How convenient. And so that's why Tony Blair is a free man. And he's still walking around free. And I love the reasoning that they gave for it. It said there's no equivalent under UK law. Fuck you, man. Seriously. And the United States, of course, is pulled out of the thing entirely. And I think it's just horrendous, honestly, that they get away with these crimes, these motherfuckers. I think it's horrendous. And the best tip that I could give anyone who wants to become a journalist, for the love of God, don't study journalism. Go to law school, because, man, I'm telling you. I mean, I think I would hope that I'm, as we say in Arabic, I'm dabbar hali. I'm managing all right. But man, if you have a law degree, it's going to be a lot easier to read all this shit. It applies to everything. For example, the omnibus bill in December, when they gave you those $600 stimulus checks, the fucking crumbs, which all of them voted for except Rashida Tlaib and Tulsi Gabbard. They snuck in the back door and they voted for it without telling you. And I read it. I sat down and I fucking suffered with it, and my girlfriend helped me, but it's not nice. I think it would be a lot easier if I had a law degree. So that's one example. Another example, this thing, the ICC rulings. Another example, the Julian Assange thing. I mean, I think I managed okay, but it would be nice to have a law degree. Maybe you understand a bit better. And it explains why, if you look at the Democratic primaries, right, the ones we just had, everyone's a fucking lawyer except Bernie Sanders. They're all lawyers. They all studied law. Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, I think Buttigieg, all of them, they went to fucking law school. I mean, obviously, because they're lawmakers, so, it fits. But that's the thing. They're so intertwined. It will help you understand a lot better. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if it's worth much. But yeah, it would have been nice. So anyway, Juvi, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, but I really appreciate the super chats. You said you should cover Haftar's war crimes. Yeah, in Lebanon. Definitely. I mean, I talked very briefly about this a few months ago when we were covering well, several things in Lebanon, right? You had the economic crisis, and then of course the explosion, and then Macron coming in and trying to change things. Yeah, Haftar is a particular one. So I really should do a bit more on Lebanon about that. I really should. You're right. And just very briefly, for those who are out of the loop, you know, if you look back at the Lebanese civil war, which lasted around 30 years, right? You had a lot of people that actually cooperated with Israel. You had some like Christian militias cooperating with Israel. I know it sounds weird, right? It's true. It's true. You had these Christian brigades that were fighting alongside Israel against other factions in Lebanon, and helping them in their fucking massacres as well. It's really obscene. And some of these figures, they're still, you know, participating in Lebanon's political life right now. It's unreal. It's unreal. So speaking of war crimes, let's move on to the next segment, because oh boy. And thank you to everybody who's supporting the show. I appreciate it a lot. Have I plugged the show? I don't think I have. Let me plug it real quick. You can donate on whichever one is good for you. Venmo, CashApp, whatever, man. I don't like plugging the show. I'm here to talk politics. So there you go. By the way, speaking of Venmo, I'm going to read you one of the super chats that we got. I hope you can hear me. This one is from Manuel. He says, 9/11 always sounded like a boy band name. Oh my God. Do you remember that video clip, that music video with Sum 41? And they come in and the record label manager, he's like, you're not Sum 41 anymore. You're the Sums, Green Day 75. Yeah, it does in a way. We also got another super chat from Mona, which I'm going to read to you. It says, Richie, damn, look at you with your spinning graphic. Oh shit, you talking about that sexy little cube over here? Yeah, it's dope, right? I love it. I need to give a shout out to Yeast. Yeast is the one who hooked me up with that on the Discord. Huge love to you, Yeast. I really appreciate that. I mean, that thing is blinging. Look at that. Let me hold it up. Let me hold it up. Isn't that blinging, man? I love it. So thank you for that. And Mona says, love you, Richie. So proud of everything you're doing. Oh, I missed one. It says you're a big dick now. Yes. Standing up for truth and calling out these bullshit politicians. Fuck Trump. Fuck Biden. Fuck Pelosi. Fuck all the war criminals. Amen to that. Also, I sent you a suggestion on Twitter. You know I love giveaways. All right, we got to do one. By the way, I'm still waiting for my merch to get here. My war criminal merch. The goddamn Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. I have it up somewhere, man. Hold on, give me a second. Because for those of you who don't know, we made some new merch, and you're gonna love this. It's the Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. So you go to store.richardmedhurst.com, and Mona's actually the one who designed this. She did an amazing job. Take a look at this. I love it. I think this is dope. Look at that. Come on. How can you not love that? One of you got it on a mug, but I got this long tee. Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So I'm waiting for mine. But anyway, I want to move on to the next segment. And again, I thank you guys for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. Again, I don't really like plugging the show. I'm just here to talk to politics, man. Okay, so the Biden administration, they've chosen to continue the persecution of Julian Assange. And of course, I mean, that comes as no surprise, right? That doesn't surprise any of us. This is from Reuters. Biden administration plans to continue to seek extradition of WikiLeaks Assange. Okay, so President Joe Biden's administration plans to continue to seek to extradite WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange from the UK to the United States to face hacking conspiracy charges, the US Justice Department said. Justice Department spokesman Mark Raimondi on Tuesday said the US government will continue to challenge a British judge's ruling last month that Assange should not be extradited to the US because of the risk he would commit suicide. In a January 4th ruling, the judge Vanessa Bretzer said, I find that the mental condition of Mr. Assange is such that it would be oppressive to extradite him to the US. Right, so Raimondi says the U.S. will challenge Barrett's ruling. We continue to seek his extradition. That's it. That's the only quote we have. And the filing itself, because they had a deadline, which was Friday, which was just yesterday. And we don't have the filing. It's not public. But just to, again, I covered the extradition hearing. And this was the judgment, right? So you go to the very end, and she says, I order the discharge of Julian Assange pursuant to Section 913 of the Extradition Act 2003. And, if you go read Section 91, it's about, the physical or mental condition of the detainee. And if it would be further imperiled by extradition, then that's grounds to block it. And that's actually exactly what happened, not just with Assange, but successfully with Gary McKinnon and also with Lori Love, right? Because they also have Asperger's. And, the thing with mental health is that, if you have depression, again, you have to consider it's pretty normal being cooped up in the embassy for so long, for 7 years, and then a year and a half in Belmarsh. I mean, yeah, being persecuted by the most powerful governments in the world, I can imagine you would feel pretty fucking depressed, especially in Belmarsh, in a maximum security prison. So my point here is you have to consider depression. There's a suicide risk there sometimes, not with everyone, but sometimes, and having Asperger's adds to that, right? So that's the medical opinion that we heard from several neuropsychiatrists during the extradition hearing. They explained this, that, if you have both depression and Asperger's, it's compounded, it's made even worse. And when I spoke to Neil Smeltzer, who's the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, you can go watch the video, it's right here on the channel. He spoke to Assange, and he made it clear to him he's not going to be extradited alive. And I don't blame him for that, because the guy's facing 175 years in a fucking U.S. supermax. Who wouldn't, honestly? I mean, this is horrendous. I think just everything up until now that he's been through, he's shown enormous resilience, to be frank. But just going back to this announcement now from the Biden administration, you know what's happening here essentially, right? So I explained this to you, why the judge's decision, Judge Breitzer, her decision not to extradite Assange was good and bad at the same time, because yes, it's good she decided not to extradite him. The problem is, what's bad is that she agreed with all the political charges in the indictment. She agreed with the hacking charges. She agreed that, you have to understand there's one hacking charge under the CFAA, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and then there's also another 17 counts under the Espionage Act, right? So she agreed with all of that. She agreed with everything. And now all the Biden administration has to do when they go to appeal, so now they file their appeal, all they have to do is go to a high court in the UK and prove to a high court judge that U.S. supermax prisons or U.S. prisons, he's going to be put in a supermax. We know that. It's going to be either, pretrial, probably Alexandria Detention Center, where Chelsea Manning tried to take her own life because of how horrendous it is. And then after conviction, most likely ADX Florence, right? So in Colorado. And that's a supermax prison. I mean, you never see the sun again. And they're going to go and try to convince a UK judge that that's humane. That's essentially what they're going to do. And it's brilliant what she did, Judge Breitzer, what she just did. She actually gave them a huge favor, because now they don't have to disprove any of the political charges, the Espionage Act, the hacking charge, because it's done. She accepted it. So now in the high court, the debate is going to focus solely around his health and the conditions in a U.S. prison. And, they might give some diplomatic assurances, which won't mean shit, of course, once he's there. And it's like, I mean, just on the face of it, on the surface of this entire thing, let's say that Julian Assange is put in a 5-star hotel, right, under house arrest in the U.S. That's still not fucking okay. It's still, yes, of course, it's better than ADX Florence, but it's not okay. The fucking principle here is that you're jailing a journalist, for almost threatening him with almost 2 centuries in jail because he exposed your fucking dirty laundry and your war crimes. This is no. He's not even American. He doesn't even have anything to do with your laws. He didn't do anything in your country. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in my opinion, yes, the conditions are horrendous, obviously, but even if they were good, the principle is wrong. This man, Assange, should not be extradited. He didn't do anything wrong. this witch hunt that's been going on for 10 years now against a journalist is unacceptable. And so, I really, I'd really like to know where are all these people who said that, Joe Biden is the lesser of two evils. How is this the lesser of two evils? This is the same evil. It's just the Trump administration continued. Can someone explain this to me? Where are all these people who said that Joe Biden is the lesser of two evils? How is he the lesser of two evils? It's the same goddamn policies. He's still sanctioning Syria. He's still sanctioning Yemen. He's still sanctioning Syria. He's still sanctioning Iran. He's still sanctioning Venezuela. He kept the sanctions on Cuba and removed the last-minute terrorist designation by Trump. After his entire cabinet were complicit in Obama's original attack on Yemen and helping Saudi Arabia. Yeah, too late. You already massacred hundreds of thousands of Yemenis. He's still continuing the persecution of Julian Assange. He still ain't got you no checks. You're still not getting any health care. I mean, Jesus Christ, you elected a fucking architect of this corrupt cesspit of a system, and you're coming here and telling us it's the lesser of two evils? He's still stealing the fucking oil in Syria. The Biden administration just sold $1 million worth of oil that it fucking stole from Iranian tankers. That's piracy. What century is this? And you're going to come here and tell me it's the lesser of two evils? It's the same fucking policies. That's Trump. And then you got Secretary of State Blinken coming on and saying, yeah, we're going to keep the embassy in Jerusalem. We're going to continue to recognize the occupied Syrian Golan Heights that Israel is illegally occupying. We're going to continue to recognize them as Israeli. Same for East Jerusalem. This is all Trump. It's literally the same fucking policy. It's not the lesser of two evils. It's the same evil. Literally the same. Unchanged. I can't believe this. I really can't believe this. Where are all these people who said that he's the lesser of two evils? Where are you? Go and put your fucking clown makeup on. Go and put your dunce hats on and fucking recant. Because we had to listen to that crap for the better part of a year. And now they're all scurried away and silent. Fuck you. I'm so angry at this shit, man. And here's Biden in case you forgot, here's Biden during the Obama years giving his opinion on Julian Assange. Yeah?
Should the United States do something to stop Mr. Assange?
We're looking at that right now. The Justice Department is taking a look at that, and I'm not going to comment on that process.
You think he is a criminal?
If he conspired to get these classified documents with a member of the U.S. military, that's fundamentally different than if somebody drops on your lap, here, David, you're a press person, here is classified material.
Mitch McConnell says he's a high-tech terrorist. Others say this is akin to the Pentagon Papers. Where do you come down?
I would argue that it's closer to being a high-tech terrorist than the Pentagon Papers.
Right. Well, you know, if all those people who thought, oh yeah, that's an old clip, that's an old video clip, he's not going to do anything. Oh really? Where are you now? Where are you now? He's pursuing the exact goddamn policies that Trump implemented. He's pursuing the same case against Julian Assange, literally unchanged. No difference whatsoever on paper, nor in practice, nor in reality. None. Zero. Zero, 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 zero. This is horrendous, right? And again, just to give you more context, of course they're saying he's a cyber criminal because that's the only way they're going to get him, right? They made up this entire thing about him conspiring with Chelsea Manning to hack a computer, which they still can't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, because they need to do it. That's the only way you can paint him as, oh, it's a cyber criminal, he's a cyber terrorist, and he's not a journalist. Like as if that supersedes the fucking war crimes in the documents. Oh my God, this is insane. This is like somebody, catching a bank robber, and then the bank robber goes, hey, you forgot to pay a parking ticket one time. The fucking nerve of these people. Truly. And again, it's not even true. It's made up. It's completely fabricated. And you look at the way the media is reporting this, it's literally copy pasted. If you go and read the New York Times, this is France 24. You go read the New York Times, it's the same thing. Reuters, same thing. Look at this. All right. So Assange said WikiLeaks was no different than other media constitutionally protected to publish such materials. Prosecuting him, too, could mean also prosecuting powerful U.S. news organizations for publishing similar material. Legal fights the government would likely lose. Again, that's exactly what I just told you. That's why they're trying to paint him as a cyber criminal, right? But under President Donald Trump, whose 2016 election was helped by WikiLeaks publishing Russian stolen materials damaging to his rival Hillary Clinton, the Justice Department built a national security case against Assange. It's 2021 and they're still peddling this nonsense. This is a conspiracy theory. Donald Trump, how do they write this horseshit? Donald Trump is the one who fucking launched the goddamn prosecution against Assange, right? He went through with the indictment. How did he work with Assange to get elected? What the fuck are you talking about? And then, oh no, they say also, look, it was helped by WikiLeaks publishing Russian stolen materials. You don't know that. What are you talking about? You can't prove that, number one. Number two, that has nothing to do with the indictment. All of the materials that are referenced in the indictment have nothing to do with 2016. The US, on paper at least, legally, does not care about 2016. Of course they don't. What they care about is the war crimes. And even then, actually in court, they said, "Oh no, we're not prosecuting Assange for the collateral murder video. No, we're prosecuting him for the rules of engagement, the Iraq rules of engagement, which were, given alongside them. And we're going after him because he published unredacted names of informants." Again, not true. Literally every single thing that the U.S. says is a lie in the indictment. Literally every single argument they make has holes this fucking big in them. And I'm not even a fucking lawyer. I joke though that we should all get law degrees when we finish that. No, but seriously, like it's so transparent how conniving and how malfeasant they are, and how they are truly, trying to stretch the law. They're trying to stretch logic and all semblance of understanding, just in order to get this man in a supermax prison. And we all know why, because he published their war crimes. That's why. So this is extremely disappointing, but it's not surprising. And I told you this was going to happen. And people were saying that there's a bigger chance Trump pardons Assange than Biden dropping this prosecution. Oh, well, we told you, man. And that man he's still in Belmarsh right now, without charge, without sentence. Call that the lesser of two evils, really? Is Julian Assange going to be less cold now in Belmarsh because they're not giving him his winter clothes? That is not proper heating, really? Is Julian Assange going to be less at risk of suicide because of this? Really? That's the lesser of two evils? He's going to serve a lesser sentence in the US? Fuck you. So just to read your super chats over here, we got one from Dino. Says, "Thank you, Richard, for the important work you do. Solidarity, I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much." Emblem Fate says, "You read that Times article where they admit a cabal hides stories, changed laws. If Biden was the lesser evil, they wouldn't have needed to do that." I saw. I'm going to be honest. I did not read it. No, I did not have time to read it. I just saw the headline very briefly, and I saw people throwing around that word. So I've not read it just yet, but thank you for reminding me, Emblem Fate. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Francis says, "Love the leather. Super froc de cuir que tu as là. Trop cute." Ah bah merci, hein, j'apprécie énormément. C'est vraiment sympa de ta part. Merci. Vanessa says, "Richard Medhurst in truth." Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. I'm just angry, most of all, because I've had it up to here with this. It's really like, all politicians are liars, man. All right, they're crooked. They're crooks. They're goddamn criminals. But it's just the stuff that I just told you about. Like, for example, this thing with the ICC or with Assange. It's another level. It's going even further than that. It is so. And this is one of the reasons why the media doesn't report on it properly, because if they did, everyone would be going like, what is that? What are you doing? It's really not as deep as they make it out to be. I can assure you, it's really not that deep. This is wrong. And as I told you just a few moments ago, I don't care if they put Julian Assange in a 5-star hotel. I mean, obviously that would be better. We're not debating that, but it's the principle here. He's a journalist. He did not commit a crime. He published evidence of war crimes. He's won numerous awards for them. And let's not forget, there are a lot of mainstream outlets like The Guardian, Der Spiegel, Le Monde. They all used his materials. Why aren't they being prosecuted? I'm not saying they should be prosecuted, but I'm showing you the double standard. And look at Cryptome.org. Dude, the goddamn owner of Cryptome came and, didn't come physically, but submitted a testimony at the extradition hearing saying, hello, I published the cables first before Assange, and you have not told me to take them down or tried me. Like it's like a cartoon. It's like you're looking at it, it's like, is this real? And it's just like, yeah, it's entered into the record, and then we're not going to address it, and we're just going to move forward. Like, what the fuck? It's on Twitter. You can literally go and find it on Twitter. The timestamp is even there. It's the day before. It's a few hours before because of the time zone difference. They're published before WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks only published them afterwards, unredacted, because, they were already out there. But they had an exhaustive redaction process, as everyone knows. And I mean, this is not even up for debate. I spoke to Stefania Morizzi. You can also watch the interview on the channel. And, she worked as a media partner with WikiLeaks. Because, WikiLeaks worked with media partners in different countries, right? And so they worked with her as a media partner on the Italian cables. And she says, like, she never worked with an organization that had such a strict security protocol and was so serious about their work and took it, with the utmost care. And she's absolutely right. The whole principle of WikiLeaks is that you have rigorous journalistic practices, being able to submit materials without disclosing the source. That's the whole point of it, man. It's to uphold those standards and actually make them accessible to the general public on top of it, right? Unfiltered, unedited. So it's really important to understand that and not to fall for these lies and smears from the US State Department and the DOJ about, oh, he's a hacker and he recklessly leaked these materials. Bullshit. Anyway, so we got 400 I can't read that, something for over 400 people watching. Make sure you hit the like button because we need that for the algorithm. I'm just going to read you one of the super chats we got over here. This is from Neil. Says, keep being a thorn in the side of empire. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm trying my best, right? I'm trying my best and will do. You know it. And I appreciate that very much. So just give me 1 second over here so I can open up the next segment for you. Okay, this is, I mean, this shocked me. This annoyed me. I don't know how I came across this on Twitter, but let's take a look at the headline and then I'll show you the rest of it. Okay, no, that's the wrong window. You'll excuse me. I still had the old one up. Give me 1 second. Although the death cult is also relevant. Give me a second. Here we go. Wonderful. Okay, so Jill Biden decorated the White House lawn with giant hearts as a Valentine to the country. Aw, isn't that cute? Look at that, man. Unity. You can see the unity in the background. Look at that. We got strength, love, family, kindness, compassion. That's a good one. Compassion. I think compassion is an excellent virtue. I think it's important to have, especially as a politician or perhaps the first lady, right? Who might have the president's ear more than anyone else. I think that's important, especially during an economic crisis, especially during a pandemic. Where are the checks, motherfucker? Where are the checks? Where is the health care? Why are there millions of people unemployed? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? This is not compassion. This is bullshit. Okay? This is nonsense. So what's really interesting here is I came across this this thread on Twitter, okay, and I just wanted to show you a few samples. So apparently this is a competition now. I didn't know we had a competition going on here between Melania Trump and Dr. Jill Biden. Okay. All right. So if you look at the comments, it's really something, man. It's really something. Don't you love it when liberals, you scratch and you find the racism all of a sudden? Look at this. I really want Melania Trump's visa and the visas of her parents revoked. What the fuck? You know, for a nation of immigrants, you're literally all immigrants, all of you, except the natives, obviously. That's, wow. Wow. You remember how for years we heard Donald Trump is a racist? I mean, he is a racist, right? He made all those comments about everyone, right? Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let's keep going, man. There is a night and day difference between these two women. One is pure class. The other is sadly lacking. Now, look, man, I don't want to be too prude over here, but I do recall Dr. Jill Biden saying during the primaries when people were asking about the fact that Joe Biden does not support Medicare for all, right? You know, people need healthcare. They're dying, literally dying. You have 50,000 people dying a year in America because they don't have healthcare. And her response was that, look, maybe your candidate supports a policy. I'm paraphrasing here, but at the end I won't be. She said, maybe your candidate supports a policy that you like, but try to swallow a little and vote for Joe, right? Because her reasoning was that Joe Biden has a better chance of beating Trump. Okay, I guess she was right. Here we are. Are you done swallowing, everybody? That's very classy of her, right? There's nothing like telling people to swallow a little to win them over politically. I love that. It exudes class. Wow. So this is really, I mean, this is an unbelievable thread. I think it's a case study. You know, you can go and look at this, and it's like these people live in an alternate universe. You know, they live in an alternate universe. They're talking about lawn signs. She makes us proud as Americans. Just a lovely lady. What does this have to do with anything? Also, Jill wasn't an escort. Nice. So shaming sex workers now, apparently. I don't even know if that's true about Melania, but look at this. I saw the hearts decor. I felt they were so thoughtful. Message is set across nicely. Do you see that word message? And if you go back to the tweet, it says messaging. They're literally telling you up front. All they care about is messaging, right? I love how they tell on themselves. They're not very bright, are they? These brunch liberals, the boutique left. Oh, the boutique left is specific, but these brunch liberals, quite a flock of Karens. Yeah, they're not very bright, telling on themselves like that. They're saying we care about messaging. That's all we care about, messaging. We want nice words on a bunch of lawn signs on cardboard. Fuck you, no healthcare. Fuck you, no checks. And if you get a check, you'll get it late, maybe mid-March, and it won't be the 2,000 because we scammed you, because we're classy, right? Very classy. Yes. Extremely classy. It's okay though, guys. We have lawn signs. Don't worry. Don't worry. By the way, I want to show you something. It's a little work of art. It's still in development. Okay. But you know, it's a concept that was given to me and it was shipped over straight from the Pentagon. So this is top secret, but I'm gonna permit myself to share it with you. All right. Take a look. This is the latest drone. We got kindness, compassion, love, courage, and healing hearts all over. All over the fuselage. Beautiful, isn't it? I think this will make a fine addition. This will make a beautiful addition to Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult, to his arsenal. I think this is wonderful. Wow. That actually Claudia made that, so you got to give her props. It was good. It was really good. But like, I'm just astonished reading this. I'm really astonished reading these comments. You know how they talk about they say, oh, if you go to North Korea or you go to like one of the countries on the axis of evil, one that the United States doesn't like, say, oh, look at that, they're so authoritarian and it's a totalitarian state, and there's a cult of personality and brainwashing, and every day they wake up in the morning and praise their supreme leader, and what the fuck is this then? I mean, go and read that thread. Like you saw those comments. Like, these people are in another state of mind. I don't know where or what universe they're in, what dimension, but that is not okay. That is not normal. You can't come around and say, oh, Joe Biden is so much better morally. He's going to restore dignity, right? He's classy. He's a better person than Trump. And to the point that they're even insulting Trump's wife. I don't really know what Melania Trump has to do. I don't know anything about Melania Trump, to be frank. I really have no clue. So I don't know what that has got to do with anything. But they're spewing racist crap, and they're telling us that Joe Biden is so much better. Okay, why is that? Oh, I remember, because they were saying Trump is reckless, right? Oh, he's wrecked the economy, right? Oh my God, look, he's trying to overthrow the government, insurrection, right? Oh my God, look what he's done with the pandemic. He botched it. He's such an idiot. What are you doing right now then? You call, what is that? I mean, yeah, you can do both at the same time. Sure, I agree. But when you're talking about millions of Americans, they can't pay the rent, and Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden is posting fucking pictures of her, spending cash on I don't know what the fuck macarons she was trying to buy. I mean, have a little sense. Like, people don't want fucking lawn signs. They want healthcare. They want checks. They want food on the table. They want to feed their kids. They want to have a roof over their heads. What is this? No one cares about your fucking messaging, you neoliberal pricks. Fuck you. I really hate these people so much. I loathe them, because it's like they purposely shit on other human beings, whether it's inside the United States or outside the United States. Why? Because messaging is more important. Oh my God, messaging. The orange Cheeto man is gone. The same fucking policies are going to continue. I mean, like, to a T, right? Almost to a T. 99.9% of them. But it's okay, because the messaging is nicer, right? Orange Cheeto man draws too much attention to our shitty government, our evil, corrupt political apparatus and media apparatus. No, we can't have that. Get away. Put him away. Biden, he's a nice little, he's a calmer version, right? He's a calmer version. Doesn't draw much attention. Better messaging. And that's what counts. I got to get me one of these drones, man. I think it's a good addition. Yeah. Oh, they're horrendous. Oh, God. Look, good and evil. Okay, I don't know what's going on now, but you saw that. It said good and evil. That's how serious it is, huh? Literally Satan. Melania Trump is Satan. This is lunacy. Anyway, so we got a little super chat over here from Large Marge sent me. Well, you can tell Large Marge, I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate the sticker. We also got a little super chat over here from Colin. Thank you, Habibi. Let me just read it out loud to you. Give me 1 second. It's loading. It says, man, it says, Colin is saying, Mr. GQ, we see you with the leather jacket. All right, fine. Love you, and I hope you like the package. I will send you soon. Thank you for that. Thank you, Habibi. Good thing you told me to wait. Found out today that one of my students, tested positive from the asymptomatic COVID test they took yesterday. So I have to isolate at home for the next week as a precaution. As always, appreciate you. Brother, Habibi, be safe, be well, and man, I'm sorry to hear about that. It's really, I mean, we were just talking about how, Donald Trump, they were whining about him botching the COVID response. And I mean, Trump, Biden comes in. What does he do? Oh, yeah, we'll have a mask mandate on a few federal buildings for 100 days. And then you go and watch, if you watch the impeachment from earlier, you got Rand Paul walking around without a fucking, just don't give a shit. It's like, it's whatever. It's just a piece of paper. Yeah, okay. Anyway, going back to what you said, I really appreciate it so much. because you guys told me to get a PO box. I went and I got a PO box again. And that's also related to COVID. They botched the whole thing here, so I had to get a new one. And I appreciate it very much. Be safe, be well, Habibi. Take care of yourself. And hopefully, since you're going to be at home, I'm going to be streaming more than just for you, all right? Max says, I love your channel. Be clear, though. African people living in the States are not immigrants. We are hostages. I mean, you're preaching to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir. The U.S. it's a country founded on fucking genocide and built on the backs of, slaves. That's what it is. That's what it is. And who gets to profit from all of that at the end of the day? It's the white settlers. It's the people who came there, originally they say to escape persecution, and now they're persecuting, the rest of the world. It's the abused become the abusers. It's really sickening. It is. It's really sickening. So, I'm going to get to the next segment in a second. Hold on, let me pull this up. I've been saving this one for you guys. Oh, God. The things that I do for you. Just like I did with Blinken, I sat down and I watched Neera Tanden's entire confirmation hearing. Oh, God, that was horrendous. I mean, they're all horrendous. Like every confirmation hearing it's an ass licking session. It's an ass kissing session, right? I think it's really a testament to what they call bipartisanship, right? When they talk about bipartisanship in the context of, a Senate confirmation, you really see how they're all on the same team. It's extraordinary. So anyway, I sat down, I watched the whole thing, and her shrilling voice, I mean, just insufferable, truly. And I picked out some of the best parts, so we're going to go through them together because I love you guys. So we got some good stuff over here, man. We got some good stuff. So again, for those of you who are not for those of you who are out of the loop, Neera Tanden, she has been appointed or nominated at least by Joe Biden to head the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. And she needs to be confirmed by the Senate. Okay, this is one of the cabinet positions that needs Senate confirmation. And Bernie Sanders is the chairman of the committee, so he was there. We also had Lindsey Graham, and there are several interesting clips I want to play here. Let's go through them. Okay, so we're going to start out with the first one. This one is Lindsey Graham speaking. All right, and I'm going to play them in chronological order. So let's take a look.
But calling Mitch McConnell Moscow Mitch is probably not a very good thing to say. Suggesting that the minority leaders somehow in the pocket of the Russians. The GOP's capacity for evil knows no bounds. I'm sure a lot of people in America believe that. I'm not one of them. So Senator Sanders was Hillary Clinton's opponent, as we all know. So her scorn was not limited to Republicans. Russia did a lot more to help Bernie than the DNC's random internal emails did to help Hillary. Oddly, when Russia was trying to elect Trump, they did not attack Bernie Sanders. They chose to help him. They did this in the Democratic primary. They attacked the other candidate. I doubt if Bernie was Russia's pick either. So the point I'm trying to make here is that in a time of unity, we're picking somebody who throws sharp elbows. And there's going to be a consequence for that, hopefully on our side.
Okay. So Lindsey Graham is starting now. By the way, I think you missed it, but at the very beginning of the clip, he says that he doesn't mind people to take corporate donations. And you'll see why that's important in a second. So he was just reading out a bunch of tweets that she's made, right? Saying Moscow, Mitch McConnell is working for the Russians, and Bernie Sanders is also working for the Russians. I mean, if Lindsey Graham can see through that, we got an issue. And then Bernie Sanders also elaborates on these insults, okay? Because Neera Tanden is known for being a bitch.
Your attacks were not just made against Republicans. There were vicious attacks made against progressives, people who I have worked with, me personally. So as you come before this committee to assume a very important role in the United States government, at a time when we need serious work on serious issues and not personal attacks on anybody, whether they're on the left or the right, can you reflect a little bit about some of your decisions and the personal statements that you have made in recent years?
Yes, Senator, I really appreciate that question, and I recognize that my language and my expressions on social media, caused hurt to people, and I feel badly about that, and I really regret it, and I recognize this. It's really important for me to demonstrate that I can work with others, and I look forward to taking that burden, and I apologize to people on either the left or right who are hurt by what I've said.
Do you see how she's groveling? I apologize, and I didn't mean any of it. It gets worse. It gets worse. Cory Booker, he gave a real masterclass in ass licking during this confirmation hearing. So he came in remotely. He had a video chat with the committee. Take a look at what he said about Neera Tanden, his good friend. You ready? Take notes.
If confirmed, Neera will accomplish this American mission. She will offer the kind of vision that is reflective of her brilliance, of her huge heart, and of her commitment and spirit for this country. She will continue to be truly a public servant and a servant leader. She will lead with empathy. She will lead with skill and understanding for our economy and of our country's challenges. And she will lead with love. She will lead with love of country and all of her citizens. I urge my colleagues to swiftly confirm Neera Tanden's nomination. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share with you why I so believe in my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Booker.
She will lead with love, right? She will lead with love when she steals Libya's oil. So pay attention to this clip. I think a couple of people have covered it, but they haven't really understood what's going on here. So this is Bernie Sanders, and he starts asking her about all the corporate donations she's taken over the years. She was the head of this think tank, Center for American Progress. Just listen to the list, okay? And then we'll analyze.
Another issue that concerns me very much. I happen to believe that big money interests have an undue influence over the economic and political life of our country, that too often campaign contributions are what determines policy rather than the needs of ordinary Americans. And according to the Washington Post, since 2014, the Center for American Progress has received roughly $5.5 million from Walmart, a company that pays its workers starvation wages, $900,000 from the Bank of America, $550,000 from J.P. Morgan Chase, $550,000 from Amazon, $200,000 from Wells Fargo, $800,000 from Facebook, and up to $1.4 million from Google. In other words, CAP has received money for some of the most powerful special interests in our country. How will your relationship with those very powerful special interests impact your decision-making if you are appointed to be the head of OMB?
Senator, I thank you for that question. It will have zero impact on my decision-making. Actually, CAP took a number of positions that disagreed vigorously with the policy positions of those institutions. But I appreciate this question, and it is my role. It will be my role to ensure that I am only serving the interests of the American people, the administration, and its agenda to address rising inequality and address the needs of working families.
Okay, let me translate for you. All right. So when politicians say thank you for that question, it means fuck you, you asshole. How dare you say that in front of me right now in public, you motherfucker. She said it twice. Huh? What kind of a question is that? You literally just read out how corrupt she is. You quantified it. You literally told us in dollar amounts how fucking corrupt she is. And then you ask her, will you be corrupt? No, sir, I will not be corrupt. I promise you. What the fuck is going on? You literally ran 2 presidential campaigns against people like her, and you're about to fucking let her go with that? You're gonna let it slide? Jesus Christ. Yo. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Hold on, I saved the best for last. This was my favorite part. Are you ready? So this is Senator Kennedy. All right, and he goes back to the issue of insults. Take a look.
I have to tell you, I'm very disturbed about your personal comments about people. And it's not just 1 or 2. I think you deleted about 1,000 tweets. And it wasn't just about Republicans. And I don't mind disagreements in policy. I think that's great. I love the dialectic. But the comments were personal. I mean, you call Senator Sanders everything but an ignorant slut.
That is not true.
And when you said these things, did you mean them?
I wouldn't have said ignorant.
Senator, I have to say, I deeply regret my comments.
I understand that, but
And
when
I
you
feel
said
badly
them, did
about
you
them.
mean them? I understand you've taken them back, but did you mean them?
I'd say the discourse over the last 4 years on all sides has been incredibly polarized.
I'm asking about yours. Did you mean them?
I really feel badly about them, Senator.
Did you mean them?
I feel badly about them.
Did you mean them when you said them?
I mean, I would say social media is I've
Did
heard
you
a
mean them
terrible
when you said
discourse.
them?
I feel terribly about them.
Did you mean them when you said them, or were you not telling the truth?
I mean, I feel badly. I look back at them. I said them. I feel badly about them. I deleted tweets over.
Are you saying that because you want to be confirmed?
No, I felt badly about them. And
Did you
deleted
mean them when you said them?
Senator? I must have meant them, but I really regret them.
That's what I thought.
I want the record to reflect that I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut. Okay?
Thank you. I don't know how I should take that, Senator Kennedy, but Senator Kaine.
Did you see Bernie's inner cuck coming out there? I'm very grateful for that, Senator Kennedy. I'll be your ignorant slut if you want me to be. Yo, I want to point out a couple of things. Did you notice how she tried to pull the Trump card? It was pay attention, all right? At one point, she says, the last 4 years. No. This has nothing to do with Trump. She was trying to. I assure you, that sentence was going to lead to Trump. The last 4 years, they've been wild. You know, it's just the whole toxic era of the Trump administration. You know, things were said. You motherfucker. And by the way, I there's a part right at the beginning where Kennedy says, you called Bernie Sanders everything but an ignorant slut, right? And if you listen closely, there's someone in the background saying, well, I wouldn't have said ignorant. I was like, oh, is that real? I turned it up for you so you could hear it. I'm going to play it again for you in case you missed it. All right?
When you said these things, did you mean them? But the comments were personal. I mean, you call Senator Sanders everything but an ignorant slut.
That is not true.
And when you said these things, did you mean them?
I wouldn't have said ignorant.
Was that Lindsey Graham? Did Lindsey Graham just call Bernie Sanders a slut? I think he fucking did. Let me play it again, man. You heard it. I know you heard it. I heard it too.
When you said these things, did you mean them?
I wouldn't have said ignorant.
You know what the best part is? You know what the best part is? Bernie Sanders is such a cuck that at the beginning of the thing, he's like, well, you know, I've known Senator Lindsey Graham for a long time, and we have a great personal relationship. I look forward to working. Look, man. Look, man, she hasn't been confirmed yet. I can't believe Lindsey Graham just called Bernie Sanders a slut, and no one caught that. What the fuck? That is a brilliant hot mic moment. I'm not gonna lie, that was hilarious. Anyway, so she hasn't been confirmed yet, but we all know she's gonna get confirmed. We all know this. And I wanna say something else. You see how Bernie Sanders, he's pointing out her corruption, right? And you see how they're pointing out the mean tweets. What I want to know is why no one pointed out this email right here, which to me is perhaps the most striking indictment on Neera Tanden, right? So this is an internal DNC email. She's writing at the time, okay, this is 2011. So she's writing to Faiz Shakir, who's actually, incidentally, he went on to become Bernie Sanders' campaign manager. She also punched him, by the way. That's also on her resume, right? She punched him because he asked a nasty question. Well, nasty in her opinion. He wanted to know something about the Iraq War regarding Hillary's position on the Iraq War. So look what she says here, all right? This is Neera Tanden. She says, we have a giant deficit. They have a lot of oil. Who's they? Oh, you look at the subject line. It says, should Libya pay us back? What the hell? Yes, she's actually suggesting that. We have a giant deficit. They have a lot of oil. Most Americans would choose not to engage in the world because of that deficit. If we want to continue to engage in the world, gestures like having oil-rich countries partially pay us back doesn't seem crazy to me. And again, I think it's out of frame, but I'm going to try and read the entire thing to you. She goes on to say underneath, do we prefer cuts to Head Start or WIC or Medicaid? Because we live in deficit politics. And that's what is happening and will be happening even more. And look at the timestamp. It took Faiz Shakir literally 1 minute. That's 11:23, 11:24. 1 minute to tell her, what the fuck are you saying? He says, I don't think it's fair that we create our own domestic problems and then ask other nations to pay for it. You see the adverse incentive problem here, right? If we think we can make money off an incursion, we'll do it. That's a serious policy messaging moral problem for our foreign policy, I think. Yeah. No shit. And no one asked her about this. Isn't that weird? I mean, to me, this is worse than all the other stuff. Honestly. This is way worse. You're going to put her in charge of the OMB? Are you serious? I mean, there are enough things on her resume to maybe, disincentivize you from doing that. But Jesus Christ, I mean, this woman is she's literally typing out an email. She doesn't care. So yeah, we should imperialist. We should do a little imperialism. Huh? How about we go steal some fucking oil, to make the Libyans thank us for bombing the crap out of them. And let's do that to other countries too, right? You don't want to cut Medicaid, do you? Can you imagine her in charge of the OMB? Well, look, President Biden, I don't want to have to, you're going to put me in a tough position here. I don't want to have to cut Medicaid or do, certain actions that would hurt our populace. Let's just go to war and make other countries pay for it. What the fuck? Is that who you want whispering the presidency here? Are you high? Are you on crack? No one brought this up. This is a real email. This is 100% real. She's never denied it. This is way worse than all of the tweets combined. She's saying we should fucking murder people and steal their oil. I mean, do I really need to explain this? I just read it to you. How is this woman still in politics? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And no one asked her about that. I think that says more about Bernie Sanders, Lindsey Graham, and all of them. Honestly, you're more concerned with the tweets, really, than this? Jesus Christ. I mean, this, of all things, she's talking about policy, how she, in private, views policy matters and budgetary matters. You're putting her in charge of the fucking Office of Management and Budget. So of all things, I mean, this is a prime example of how she thinks and reasons in the job that you're about to confirm her with. What are you doing? And we know Bernie Sanders is going to confirm her. We know that. We know that, man. We all know that. Right now, Bernie Sanders, I mean, after 2016, after rolling over for Biden again, Bernie Sanders is a cockmaster. And when he confirms Neera Tanden, he's going to be he's going to be promoted to the right honorable chief cuck of the Democratic Party, and he will hand over his testicles to Neera Tanden, and she will hang them in her office on the wall. It's coming. There was a Newsweek article saying that Bernie Sanders is gonna vote for her. I mean, that's not confirmed 100%. It hasn't happened yet. So, I don't know where they're getting from. It's just conjecture, just like I'm very accurately speculating right here. But it's not confirmed. If you go read their headline, they act like it's already been, it's a done deal. No, it's not. It's not done yet. So I'm just warning you. I'm getting you ready. I'm warning you about what's coming. We know this is coming. I warned you months ago. As soon as Biden appointed her, I knew it's going to happen. I knew it. All right. You got to understand something, man. These people like Bernie Sanders, these progressives, right? They talk a good one, but when it's crunch time, when it comes down to, am I going to stand in the way of the Democratic Party? No. They get out the way, right? He's not going to challenge a Biden nomination. He's not going to do that. All right, he voted for Blinken, which, I mean, Blinken, objectively speaking, is 10 times worse. But, I mean, you could say that about any Secretary of State. And that's saying something given the shit that I just read to you. So, I mean, Bernie Sanders voted for that war criminal piece of shit after, he's just, we all know, like, you're from the fucking Obama administration. You broke, as they say in their nice little columns, with Obama about, what to do in Libya, what to do in Syria, because these guys are such chicken hawks. They wanted to send even more troops. They wanted a fucking ground invasion. I mean, that's how violent, that's how bloodthirsty they are. And Bernie Sanders still votes to confirm him. Unbelievable. This is not scrutiny. And this is why I go back to my original point. This is not scrutinizing a candidate. It's a theater, right? It's a theater. What an ignorant slut. No, but seriously, this is unacceptable, man. This is really unacceptable. I mean, Christ almighty, you got a nation of 320 million people. Is that really the best you could find near Tandon? Really? 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 Please don't lie. So anyway, I've saved you from listening to her shrilling voice, and that was really a bad couple of hours. It was not nice. And you had several people like Cory Booker coming in and going, "Oh my God, look, she's my best friend, and I've known her for decades, and she's full of integrity, and someone with strong moral character, and I really think you should give her this job." And that's all I'm gonna say. And Neera Tanden is the savior. Goodbye. That was it. That was half of the goddamn hearing, right? I've had it with this administration, and it's not even been a month. So anyway, I hope that was informative in regards to your new OMB head of the OMB, because you best bet it's going to be her. You know it. So Kevin says, if you love to complain about Bernie, what are you doing about the problem? That's a good question, man. You should go watch my other videos, because I have probably 10,000 hours of rants explaining exactly what you need to do in the U.S. And I don't understand, like, if you're not going to go and watch it, you can't be asking questions like that. Nonetheless, I'm going to go through it again. Number one, Democratic Party fucking dead that shit. That is not happening. You cannot. I mean, this is not something that is unexplored. It has been tried before by other generations 100 years ago. You cannot reform the Democratic Party. This is lunacy. Number two. All right. So with that said, what does that mean? I don't know. You want to go join Green Party, DSA, People's Party, Movement for People's Party. I'm not giving you a preference with those, but I'm just saying this duopoly shit. Forget that. This is lunacy. You can't go elect as many progressives as you want, which is going to take 500 years, and then be like, oh yeah, we're going to reform the Democrats. That's not happening. That's not. No. It's not happening. If you didn't have history as a witness, you have the present. It's happening right before you now, but you have both. So I think, you have adequate reading material. Number two, direct action. This is something, again, with Bernie Sanders that I was angry about, which is he built a really big movement, right? Not just in fundraising. I mean, yeah, that's great to have that. And it's very powerful for a presidential campaign, but we're talking about numbers, right? Like, this was the multi-generational, multi-racial movement, right? That was almost the slogan of the Bernie movement. And where is it now? He just rolls over, hands everything to Biden, and then no general strike, no debt strike, no student loan strike, nothing, no rent strike. I mean, if not now, then when, right? If not now, then when? And then number 3 is the media. I think the media, you need independent media. This is like you could have the best, you could have the best platform. You could have the best volunteers, activists. You could have the best organizers. If the fucking media is still brainwashing people, God help you. I mean, you have 6 corporations that own all of the networks. I mean, if that wasn't cause for concern, if that doesn't send alarm bells, that doesn't shock you, I don't know what will. And so again, going back to my original point, you need independent media. And again, I besides that, right? Besides the fact you need new party, direct action, and independent media. On top of that, I'd also argue another thing. I think people it's a bit of a weird thing. Like a reporter's job or journalist's job is to inform you. I think people they're so used to waiting for an anchor on TV to tell them what to do, right? Because that's the job of mainstream media, manufacturing consent, that they expect journalists to be activists at the same time. And again, I've just given you all of these solutions. I didn't make them up. You just go look at your own history or the history of other working class movements in France and Europe. They work. These get results. But on top of that, it's the journalist's job, the reporter's job is to inform you, and then you make the decision. That's wrong. You should not be asking me to tell you what to do. You understand? Especially as a Syrian, that's not going to bode well for me in the United States. I'll be lucky to be let in. But with that said, I still think that those things, given historical context, given the fact that they work, I mean, what choice do you got? Look at the yellow vests in France. How can you not look at that? And I mean, how could you look at that and not be jealous, not be envious, right? When I was talking to Richard Wolff the other day, he said the same thing. And it is something to be envious of. You don't have that in the UK. You don't have that in the US. It's a shame. It's really a shame. So there you go, man. Hold on. I'm just reading the super chat. I got one from Ignitable Bump, but I have to zoom in because Arabic characters are too small. هذا القطع من جسد الإنسان. إيه والله حبيبي. إيه والله. So I'm going to try and translate it roughly for you. But it said, Ignitable Bump is saying these pieces of shit, they're going to do nothing but have us, standing outside with a bunch of banners. while we're begging for crumbs, we're starving. Man, I mean, I'm not sure who you're talking about because we've looked at several war criminals and several corrupt politicians so far. But yeah. I mean, that's a shame what happened with Bernie. That's a shame. But we've discerned, we've come to the conclusion now that there's no avenue with that. Forget about it, right? Forget about it. Bernie Sanders is not your friend. I'm sorry. I know it hurts. I know. It sucks. It sucks a lot. It's not about Bernie. It's not about one man. I said this to you a year ago. You shouldn't have one person leading a fucking movement. It's not. No, that's very bad, right? And it doesn't work. Bill Nye, the highest guy. Thank you for the tip on Rockfin. Says everyone drone strike the like button. You do great work, Richard. Thank you. And I wholeheartedly agree with the initial part of your message. Everybody drone strike the like button. Do what you got to do. It helps with the algorithm. And come on over, sign up on Rockfin if you can, because we need to have an avenue other than YouTube, honestly. Dallas Smith, thank you, says subscribe to Rockfin for Sam Tripoli and Charlie Robinson. Just a huge bonus to get your content too. Glad I moved to Rockfin. Keep up the fire. See, there you go. That was a perfect segue. Definitely get on Rockfin, guys. Again, for those of you who don't know, it's basically like YouTube and Patreon in one, and you're gonna find all your favorites there. So hold on, I always let me pull it up for you. There you go. So you're gonna have Jimmy Dore, you're gonna have Nico, Convo, Graham, Rania, and Kevin, Ron Placone, Hardlands Media, Status Coup. There's Whitney Webb as well, Lee Camp, and me. I mean, everyone's there, man. Like, all of your favorite leftist channels, you're going to find them there. Kim Iverson is also there. So, like, what else do you need? What else do you need? And there's no TYT, so even better, right? No, but everything is good, man. And again, my main point of concern is that, well, not point of concern, but my main point of concern with YouTube is that you know, the censorship is just unacceptable. So I don't want to have to worry about that. And Rockfin, I'm streaming there right now, right? And there's no bullshit like that. So there you go. Definitely go sign up, make a free account. It don't cost you nothing. But again, I told you it's like Patreon. It's like, think of it as Nico says. Nico calls it political Netflix, right? You pay $10 a month and you get everyone's premium. For those that do premiums, most of my stuff is free. I mean, it's the same as on YouTube. But yeah, so if you're into that, definitely you know, if you're supporting for $10 a month independent media, I think it's a good deal. So let me just give me 1 second over here. I just wanted to pull up another thing. I want to go back to foreign policy, right? Have we ever left foreign policy today? I don't know. This is a clip from Blinken, and this pissed me the fuck off. I mean, this really made me angry. It made me so angry that I think I need water. Hold on. So, the whole interview is about 5 minutes long, but I'm just gonna play you the relevant part about Syria, okay? And obviously we can look at the whole clip afterwards if you want, but this warrants particular care and attention because no one is covering it. It just goes over people's heads. It's a shame. So there you go. And once again, I thank everybody for supporting the show. I don't know how many people we are on Patreon right now. I have no clue actually, but I think we should be nearing the 400. We haven't had a single crab dance today. That's a shame, man. So definitely sign up on Patreon if you're not supporting. And yeah, look, you see, we're almost at 400. We got 400 people watching right now. I'm pretty sure we can get 10 more people to sign up. So definitely do that. Let me play a crab dance for you. I'm in the mood for a crab dance. So let's do that. All right. Right. So okay, I'm just pulling this up for you. Okay, so Secretary of State Blinken, he goes on CNN with Wolf Blitzer, and they talk foreign policy, of course. And right at the very end of the interview, he asks him about the Golan Heights, the Syrian Golan Heights, which have been illegally occupied by Israel since 1967, right? So let's just watch this clip, and then we'll break it down the way no one else would break it down.
Golan is very important to Israel's security as long as Assad in time.
The Trump administration, as you know, also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, which Israel captured from Syria back in 1967. Will your administration, the Biden administration, continue to see the Golan Heights as part of Israel?
Look, leaving aside the legalities of that question, as a practical matter, the Golan is very important to Israel's security as long as Assad is in power in Syria, as long as Iran is present in Syria, militia groups backed by Iran, the Assad regime itself. All of these pose a significant security threat to Israel, and as a practical matter, the control of the Golan in that situation, I think, remains of real importance to Israel's security. Legal questions are something else, and over time, if the situation were to change in Syria, that's something we look at, but we are nowhere near as that.
Okay, wow. Do you notice how he's asking him a matter which is wholeheartedly about international law, and then literally the first words that come out of Blinken's mouth, legalities aside. What? What do you mean legalities aside? There's nothing but legal stuff to do with this. There's nothing but international law, legalities aside. Now, and then, of course, we'll go into the rest of the words that he said, but Israel's been illegally occupying the Golan Heights since 1967, and just as it's been illegally occupying the Palestinian West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, there are so many UN resolutions, UN Security Council resolutions, explicitly stating this occupation is illegal. Israel needs to leave. End of story, period. As a matter of fact, the first resolution, 242, unanimously passed in the UN Security Council. Unanimously. Everyone voted for it. You remember the P5? You have 5 permanent seats on the Security Council. So UK, US, China, Russia, France. They have veto power. They didn't use it. Like that should give you an idea of how clear cut this notion is. Everyone is in agreement, or was in agreement at the very least at the time, right? Unanimously passed. And of course, you have 10 other members on the Security Council in rotation. So all 15 members voted unanimously to pass UN Resolution 242, right? And then, of course, you have countless other ones. You have 497 as well. I mean, there are literally hundreds. So you look at this over here, and what is Blinken saying? Saying, we don't like Assad. We want Assad to leave. What? Look, man, Assad was not the president in 1967, nor was his father. What does this have to do with Assad? Israel stole the fucking Golan Heights. End of story. I really don't know how much more clear we can be on this. Like, there is no debate here. It's just no. So whether Donald Trump recognizes Israeli sovereignty, whatever that means, over the Golan Heights, it means jack shit. It's a piece of toilet paper. It's not international law. He's no right to do that. The United States is a member state of the United Nations, and as I said, has a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. It's a party to all these resolutions that were passed stating this occupation is illegal. Israel must get the fuck out. You can't violate that. Let me show you why Israel wants the Golan Heights, in case you're wondering what's so special about this bit of land, which is located right here, okay, between Syria and occupied Palestine, right? This is the Golan Heights, all right? You want to know why it's so special? Number one is water. Also has snow, right? And so the Israelis, they're very intelligent, right? Like, oh yeah, this shit is ours. Let's build a ski resort. Fuck Syria. Look at this arrogance. Can you imagine this shit? Like, look how arrogant these people are, right? I mean, honestly, if we're being frank, this is a joke compared to what they do to Palestinians. Bulldozing people's fucking homes in front of them. Like, literally coming with the police or the army and making you stand outside while they bulldoze your home in front of you. I mean, this is a joke compared to that. This is nothing. Nonetheless, they want it for the water. They want it for the snow. They want it for the oil, right? They keep drilling there, trying to look for oil. And of course, it's an extremely important strategic plateau. You have a vantage point overlooking the Sea of Galilee, right? I mean, just from a strategic point of view, from a military point of view, priceless. Priceless. Never mind the water. The water on its own is, I mean, this is worth more than gold in the Middle East. And if we're being frank, the oil, I mean, it's not as much as in the northeast of Syria, right? So it's really about the water, and it's really about the strategic value that it holds overlooking the Sea of Galilee and as a military outpost. And so Blinken is saying legalities aside, because there's no way to answer this question other than Israel are fucking thieves. There's no other way to answer that, right? And so Trump, I just want to point out here again how Trump's policies are being continued by the Biden administration. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? How is this the lesser of two evils? Can someone explain that to me, right? Because Trump didn't just do this with the Syrian Golan Heights. He comes and does that as well with East Jerusalem, right? With Jerusalem itself, the capital, but specifically East Jerusalem, which is under illegal occupation. It belongs to Palestine. Well, I mean, all of Palestine does, but in the scope of the UN Resolution 242, we're talking about East Jerusalem. And so Trump says, oh, well, we're going to move our embassy there. We're going to move it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, right? Biden administration is going to keep it there. They're not moving it back. And Just as Wolf Blitzer asked Blinken, what about all this? Oh, they're not changing that either. Yeah, we're going to keep recognizing sovereignty there. And what an admission that he makes on television. Like, the reason that he gives is, well, yeah, we don't like who's in charge in Syria. So, we want to overthrow the government, and then we'll maybe give back the Golan Heights. It's not yours to give back in the first place. It's not up to you to decide who's in charge in Syria. Are you Syrian? Go fuck yourself. Like, look at this arrogance. Like, it's come so normal. It just goes over people's heads, right? Unbelievable, right? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? It is incredible. It is incredible. To me, this is no different than Pompeo, right? This is like a nicer sounding, a slightly more polished version of Pompeo. No, but it's the same words coming out of his fucking mouth. It's the same policies. It's the same imperialism. There's no difference whatsoever. How can you reason with these people? They're not interested in reasoning, right? They're not interested in reasoning whatsoever. Oh, I forgot to mention my parents work there, right? You have the UN mission in the Golan Heights, a peacekeeping mission, observer mission. So, but that's a whole other story. I mean, this, like I said, this is going back to 1967. And that's actually the whole fucking reason why you have a UN mission there. to hold the ceasefire line. So another thing that you need to understand is that he talks about Israel's security, right? What Israel's security? Israel is bombing Syria every goddamn week. And they usually almost always do it from the Golan Heights, right? They'll go and attack Commentator, which is just outside the Golan Heights inside Syria. And as I said, it has extreme military value and strategic value. And every time a politician answers a question with Israel's security, we know what that means, man, right? We know what that means. It means, screw you, we're going to do whatever we like because Israel comes first. America comes first. We come first. We are superior to you. He's literally saying that. That's what he's implying. Israel first. Israel first. Not Syria or anyone else. Israel. What a weird thing to say on live television. How brazen, right? And it's not just him, of course. It's every U.S. politician. It's every U.S. Secretary of State. And a lot of European ones too. Very interesting, right? Weird. It's like, are you the foreign minister for the U.S. or Israel? Like, I can't tell right now. Weird, huh? You seem to have a lot invested in their security. And of course, we've covered all the bombings that Israel has done in Syria. I mean, it's in the hundreds officially, which is surprising that the IDF would even admit that. But realistically, it's in the thousands. In the last decade, they've taken advantage of the fact that Syria is in a state of war, in a state of disarray. And so they just keep going in every week, bombing Syria, right? So, I mean, who's a threat to who here? What is Syria doing to Israel? Exactly. Unbelievable. These are the same chicken hawks, war hawks. These are the same vile imperialists who think that, we Americans, we're going to run the world now. We're going to decide from all the way on the other side of the planet who's in charge over here, and because it suits us and our buddies. I mean, if you call this the lesser of two evils, you need help. You really do. There's literally no difference, indistinguishable from Trump. Mandy, thank you very much for your tip on Rockfin. I really appreciate it. Andrea says Nero belongs in The Hague. I agree. I appreciate the tip very much. And I'm just, hold on, give me a second. I'm getting lost over here with all these windows, man. Okay. We got another one from... We got another one from Colin. Let me check over here. And we got two new members on Patreon. This is amazing. So I want you guys to give a huge shout out to Nick and to Shadowband Refugee. I'm gonna play a crab dance just for you guys. Hit it.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard. And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Listen, fuckhead, you have fucking crossed the line, claiming I'm the enemy. You got that, you goddamn son of a bitch?
don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Cut that bitch off.
Hey, why you texting? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay. Okay.
Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
You see why? You see why? Hey, we should be at 391 patrons. We're 9 members away from hitting our goal. Come on, man. What is this? Let's do it. Let's get 9 more crab dances up in this bitch. Look at this, man. We're getting close, right? We're getting close. Joe Biden is gonna sniff the whole damn thing. So you see what I'm saying? And Louis Collin wrote. He said, "Please add ignorant slut and unity to the next crab dance." Also, that was definitely Lindsey Graham saying, "I wouldn't have said ignorant." Yeah, I think it was. I can't believe that I didn't catch it. I was like, who was that? Was that a staffer? Was that someone standing near the camera? Who was it? And then so I think someone on Twitter said, no, that's Lindsey Graham. And I agree with you. Colin. I think it is. I'm surprised. I've heard him so many times. Like, I don't know why I didn't catch it. All right. I wouldn't have said ignorant. Where is he from again? South Carolina? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Anyway. So, that was Lindsey Graham. I'll do what you said, though. I'll definitely add them to the next crab dance. You know I will. And thank you again to Shadowband Refugee and Nick for joining up to the Patreon. Thank you for supporting independent media. I really appreciate it. So we also got another tip over here on Rockfin. I'm going to see if there's a note attached. Give me 1 second. How long have we been streaming, man? You know, we used to do long-ass 8-hour streams. Sabi, thank you very much for the tips. Says, Richard, what are some of your favorite traditions regarding meals and family in Syria? I absolutely love Middle Eastern food. I find it horrible when you cover your home. It's rarely about happy things. Should be that way. Your show is great. Yeah, I get you. That's true. It is a bit saddening. So, okay, look, man. Let's start out simple. Most people like tabbouleh. I do not like tabbouleh. Okay, I like fattoush. Fattoush is a much better salad. In my opinion, it has pieces of fried bread in it. I love it. I think it's great. If you go to Damascus, you're gonna find a lot of good street food, man. I'm telling you. You'll have a dude who'll take like a corn. Oh, actually, first of all, you can buy regular corn. Like there's a dude who literally rolls around with a cart and there's he's boiling corn and he's like yelling out, "You want corn?" And you just go and buy corn. But what I like is the unhealthy version, right? You'll have people if you go down near Birj Rus, right? You go down there, you'll have a guy who'll he'll basically skin the corn and then mix it up with a bunch of sauces and then give it to you on like this plastic foam thing and you go and eat it, right? Very unhealthy, but very good. And if you go to next to the Umayyad Mosque, right, which is, this is the center of Damascus, in the old city, you go there, there's a guy in L'Emiriye, right? This is an area there. It's called Emiriye, and he says he makes these like huge ass croissants, right? He does them in chocolate and also with cheese. They're huge, man, and they can cost nothing. Right now I don't know what the price is with all the inflation and the sanctions, but back then it was like 15 or 25 lira. I don't know, but that's like half a dollar basically. Or if it's 15, it's like a quarter of a dollar, So it was really cheap and they're amazing. They're amazing. No competition. What else is there? Oh yeah, juice bars. In Damascus, you find a lot of juice bars. You can go and get like, you'll see them. They have like nets or like baskets full of fruit, and you make up a cocktail on the spot. You tell them, yeah, I want some watermelon, I want some strawberries, I want whatever, and they cook it up for you on the spot. It's amazing. Shit, man, you're making me miss this a lot. But my favorite food, I'd say, is probably broasted chicken with a B, broasted. They'll take like a farouche, they call it. It's like a chicken. We love chicken, man. And then they'll basically deep fry the bitch. And, you'll also get the not fries, but these round cut potatoes with a garlic sauce. It's mayonnaise with garlic, basically. Shit, man. I haven't had that for like 10 fucking years, maybe. Over 10 years. I miss it. I really do, man. I really miss it. But yeah, you can get that good in Damascus. You find a lot of good roasted places. And of course, shawarma, obviously. But like proper shawarma, right? No offense to other countries, but we make it the best, which is what every Arab will tell you. But yeah, the Syrian shawarma is the best. And of course, if you go and you eat dessert, right? I mean, in English, you would say baklava, right? In Syria, we say baklawa. You know what I'm talking about, baklawa. Various kinds of that. My favorite, I mean, they got a bunch of names, right? They'll make them in various forms, but basically everything in Syria is full of pistachios, right? It's full of fucking pistachios. We love pistachios. Put it on everything. Motherfuckers will drown in pistachio, I'm telling you. There's actually a really famous ice cream shop. If you go to Suq al-Hamidiyya, which is the Hamidiyya market or bazaar, if you go to the middle, there's an ice cream spot called Bakdash, and he'll make, they make this milk ice cream fresh. They make it in the shop. Like you see the motherfucker like with this huge stick trying to make the ice cream. And then of course, what do they put on it? Fucking pistachios, man. Like, you know, chopped up pistachios. They put it in a cone and you take it and they just dip it in a bunch of pistachio. It's amazing. What else is there? Damn, I'm hungry now. Yeah, there's so much food. Like what I've just told you is not even like 10% of Syrian food. I'm not even kidding. And no offense to the Lebanese, but the Lebanese will try to claim all of this for themselves. Again, you have a lot of competition with Arabs, right? Who has the best food? Even though if you go to Lebanon, if you go to Syria, it's very similar. It's very, very similar. And what else was I gonna say? I was actually I wanted to post something about this has nothing to do with food, but this is to do with the Umayyad Mosque. So I thought I just wanted to show you this bit of history over here. I think it's very interesting. Again, it's just a little bit nerdy, but I think it's very important as well. Not a lot of people know this. Give me a second just to pull this up. Again, this is right near the Emiriyah, right? If in the old city, not too far, which I just told you about. And hold on, I'm just trying to pull this right window up. Here we go. So yeah, this is the Umayyad Mosque, right? Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous building, right? Very old. I mean, the Umayyad Mosque is, I think, one of the oldest mosques in the world. Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about it, the mosque is that I'll tell you the history of it, okay? So this used to be, it was built originally, I think, in the 3rd century BC. I really can't remember who it would belong to originally, but it was dedicated to the rain god of the Amoriyas. And so afterwards the Romans come in, right? The Romans came there they took Damascus and they turned it into a temple of Jupiter. And you can, if you look inside, if you look at the picture, all of these columns are Roman. They're still there. These are the original Roman columns, all of them. And I'm going to try and find a better picture for you where you can maybe see the columns a bit more clearly. But yeah, these are completely Roman. So the inside of the mosque as well is fascinating. There you go. You can see the same columns inside. Yeah. You see those, the top over here? I'm not sure what the artistic term is for that, but that's Roman. And then, of course, afterwards, the Christians took it over and they turned it into a church, right? And if you look inside the church, inside the Umayyad Mosque, right, you will see the mausoleum of John the Baptist, who baptized Jesus, right? He's still in there. Well, there it is. That's his mausoleum. That's his resting place. And so again, I find it fascinating. And then of course the Muslims took it over, and you know Damascus was really the first capital of the Islamic Empire, right? That's when it was at its height, as a matter of fact. So all the way from China to Spain. And so I think this building is fascinating. You know, you look at this, it's a mosque, and you know, you have John the Baptist, who, by the way, just like Jesus, is also revered in Islam. And and then these Roman columns. And it's such an interesting combination of history. It really is. And architecture, of course. And I think it's fascinating. And it just, you don't appreciate that when you're a kid. When I was a kid, like I've been in there, I didn't really understand this. And then, you get older, you're like, oh my God, that is fascinating. It really is, honestly. And if you go to, I think Marissa, I don't know if she's watching right now, but she went to Spain, to Andalus. She sent me her vacation pictures. There's like a copy of the Umayyad Mosque there. And it's really fascinating. It's beautiful. And it's one of the only Islamic structures still surviving in Spain, in southern Spain. So, yeah, what's also really beautiful, if you look at this gold over here, this is meant to represent paradise. And you can see over there, I don't know if it's very clear, but you can see this gold and the green. So this is a depiction of paradise, right? You have these palm trees full of fruit, full of dates. It's beautiful. And I think this particular structure over here, right, which I'm putting the cursor over, this is the vault, right? This used to be the vault. And again, you can see the Roman columns right there. It's really fascinating, huh? So, yeah. And again, I think it speaks to the cultural, religious, ethnic diversity that is really, it's just part of the history, man, and part of the society, the fabric of society to this day. So I'm very proud of that. Anyway, I think that was a very long answer about food and a little bit about the Umayyad Mosque. There's a lot more to go into, man. Really, this is just one bit of Syria's history. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. I hope that was informative. And thank you for that, because you're right. I usually we're talking about the news, and the news is we're hardly ever positive. So we have to celebrate our cultures, other people's cultures, and I used to do a lot more of these before. Should keep it up, right? So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Chuckles sent a tip on Rockfin, says thank you for your talk about Syria. Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot. Again, there's so much to go into. I just don't want to bore you guys because there's too much. But the history of the Umayyad Mosque is quite fascinating, honestly. And by the way, another little fun fact that I would tell you, when the Prophet Muhammad, he stopped just outside Damascus, and he refused to go inside the city. He said, again, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, man should only enter paradise once. And he never went in, right? So that's quite the endorsement, to put it mildly, But yeah, as I said, afterwards, Damascus really became the center of it was the first caliphate, the Umayyad Caliphate, and the beginning of the Islamic Empire. And then afterwards, of course, you had the Abbasiyin, or Abbasid in English, and that was in there. They kind of moved the capital over to Baghdad, and yeah. So there you go. We got another super chat over here from Jeff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. Sam says, heading out in a bit. Before I forget, did you see PBS Frontline trying to rebrand HTS, which is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham? Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is, dude, these names are so hilarious. Honestly, like I'm telling you, it's like these terrorist groups in Syria. There are so many. You can't keep up. There are so many, and they come up with these really creative names. So HTS, they're occupying Idlib at the moment. That's where they have a very strong presence. Sorry, just to finish your super chat. It says, did you see PBS Frontline trying to rebrand HTS as moderate? Google PBS Frontline Martin Smith HTS. I threw up. Oh God. That's a shame, because again, obviously PBS is, it's not exactly independent media, but they have done some good things before, right? So that's not good to hear. Never mind, the actual content of it. So thank you for the recommendation. I'm gonna watch that. Oh God, yeah. Why am I not surprised? Oh God. Sam, thank you very much for the super chat. Hold on, I'm trying to read it. It says, Sam says, dude, when I was 10 years old and visiting my grandmother in Syria, I remember my uncle taking me to that pistachio ice cream, Bagdash. Waited for like 40 minutes. Pics of leaders from around the world eating there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's really popular. I think they opened another one in Jordan or in Lebanon. I can't remember, but they opened like a second one. But of course, we all know where the original is. Yeah, you remember it. See, it's that good. yeah, it's really amazing. If you guys look up Bekdash, Bekdash, on YouTube, Bekdash ice cream, you'll see it. It's really good, man. I'm telling you. Actually, I used to walk there just to, in the middle of the night just to get ice cream and coffee. It's great. It's really good. So one of you in the comments says PBS stands for Pentagon Broadcasting Service. Well, ironically, I don't know. You guys tell me your opinion. If you go and watch the documentaries from PBS on the Iraq War, they have several of them. I think they're the most detailed I've ever seen. And when I say detailed, I'm talking not about the combat. I'm talking about the inside the Bush administration, the Bush regime in the lead up to the war, also with mass surveillance. I think they're decent, but again, it's always a question of like, how much of this is actually true, right? How much of this is bullshit? How much of this is rehabilitation? We don't know. We don't know. Jordan, thank you for the super chat. Says, I hope people in the Middle East know not all Americans buy into their government's propaganda. Some of us feel guilty and find our culture beautiful. Thank you, Habib. I really appreciate that. And don't worry, I've actually said this before. I think, I don't think it was live. I think it was maybe on Twitter, but I can assure you, man, you walk into central Damascus right now and people knowing you're a tourist or it's even an American, they will greet you with open arms. And I'm not saying that like hyperbole or, just as a phrase. I mean that like they will treat you with the utmost respect. They understand this, man. I don't think there's like some kind of, people understand the people are not the government. I think we all know that. Man, look, if this is something I was talking about the other day. If the United States government, and you can say the same thing about the UK, but particularly the US with the wealth inequality, with the history. I mean, look at the size of the empire. Look at the wealth, right? Look at all these wars, and even then, the American population doesn't even get to benefit from it. I mean, it would still be wrong, obviously, but you're not even getting the opportunity to partake in that wealth, right? They're not just robbing workers at home. They're also plundering other countries, right? And making money for themselves with the military industrial complex and keeping these wars going for 20 years. And on top of it, their own population starves. So yeah, I think people recognize that. I recognize that. And I appreciate that very much. I really do. Zawi says that, that response made my day. People should be able to talk about their home with joy. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice being able to think back a little. It's yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know who's left. Right. I don't know if any of the things I talked about are still there. I think Damascus is okay. It's if you look at Aleppo, for example, Aleppo suffered way worse. Really. Like most of Aleppo was destroyed. So it's horrible. But yeah, I appreciate that. You guys are very kind. Because usually I do it in the context of a video maybe or something. But I appreciate that very much. You're very sweet. So thank you for that. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody's comments or something because I don't want them to be left out. We got another Patreon. We got Fingerman, everybody put your hands together for Fingerman. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Here's a crowd dance just for you.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Listen, fuckhead, you have fucking crossed the line. Claiming I'm the enemy. You got that, you goddamn son of a bitch?
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Cut that bitch off.
Hey, why you texting? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down.
Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
Isn't that beautiful? I'm definitely gonna take Colin's suggestion and put in the the thing. we got a little donation over here from Jean Manuel. Says for save hashtag Comrade Brittany, make a clip and support King. So hold on a second. If I'm understanding it correctly, this is about Britney Spears, right? So I'm not up to date with the whole. I just briefly saw the headlines. It's something to do with her father and the conservative. How do you say that word? Conservatorship. Conservatorship sounds very English, right? I don't understand that. And you think I would, given that half of the shit that I covered today was like a bunch of law cases and stuff. But I'm not up to date with it. Although from my understanding, she's been like put in some really shitty agreement with her father about her estate. Yeah. And she can't get out of it. But I don't know if that's correct. And I mean, if that is the case, man, definitely we need to support Comrade Brittany, right? So I'm just gonna look in the comments in case someone's gonna fill me in. Thank you for the donation, Sam. Sam says, should be clear, the PBS report hasn't come out yet, but it's on Martin Smith Twitter with HTS leader in the suit. Oh, yes, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw the picture. Oh my god. A lot of people were photoshopping it. I saw it. He's got the whole ass beard, and then I think he cut his hair or something. And you can tell they're like trying to make him look more Western and like putting him in a suit. It's just he's a terrorist. What the fuck? Oh god. It reminds me of here, let me lower this. Come here, bitch. It reminds me of this CNN team that did a documentary, I think, in Syria. Documentary with what's the guy's name again? The guy from New York. God, I can't remember his name. I completely forgot. But basically, he was embedded. Not with HTS, but with other jihadist groups, and they basically tried to hide the fact that they had some Al-Qaeda spokesman as their guide in Syria. I mean, just what is wrong with you? Kareem, that was his name. Kareem. Yeah. Kareem, that was his name. I think he got jailed by HTS. Didn't they jail him? That was insane, man. And this guy, Kareem, he's accused the US government of trying to drone strike him, right? So he claims, I mean, maybe it's true, I don't know, because it's secret, but he claims that he's on a kill list. You remember Obama's list? Yeah, that one. So he says the US has tried to drone him 3-4 times or something, and he's tried to litigate and find out if he's on the list, and they won't even let him know. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know. Like I Bilal Kareem, yeah, that was him, Bilal. So he's African American originally. He's from Brooklyn, I think. He's from somewhere in New York, but he's from New York. And he used to be a comedian, I think. And then he left, and he became some spokesman basically for jihadists. I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. Donnie is saying, I have no idea what this thing is with Britney. Britney who? Britney Spears, man. There's no other Britney. So, yeah, that fool indeed. We're talking about Kareem now, Bilal, not Britney. Britney's she's tight. I'm just trying to read your comments here. There's Jen says watch the documentary on Hulu. There's a documentary about that? I didn't know. Okay, I should then. I guess I should. All right. Chris Crocker was vindicated. Yeah, indeed. So, hold on a second. I'm just trying to make sure that Thank you, Fred. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate it very much. All right, guys. So I'm gonna bounce, but before I bounce, I implore you, please, to support independent media. I don't know how far we are. I think we're 392. We got 8 people. Just 8 people. We need 8 people to sign up on Patreon, and then we've hit our goal. And then I can give you a new crab dance. It's been long overdue, man. Y'all can't be doing me like that. So the Patreon, go. You know the thing. You know the thing. The link is in the description. It's in the chat box, in the live chat. It's everywhere. I'll send it by homing pigeon if I have to. And you can support the show for as little as you like, as much as you like. Anything is appreciated. And if that is not an option, you can also do a one-time thing on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, whatever's good for you, man. I'm appreciative and grateful for anything, and I'm grateful for you guys and that I'm able to do this and cover, the things that other people won't cover, especially, but things that are important that warrant an independent media, because I think half the things we looked at today, or you're not going to see them. You're not going to see them anywhere else. So I appreciate the fact that you give me that opportunity. Thank you very much. And with that said, again, I'm going to promote Rockfin, because Rockfin, I mean, that's for everyone, man. Again, I'm telling you, with YouTube, like, I don't know how things are going to be, man. You already know the crackdown that's been happening. So, you're going to find all your favorite channels on Rockfin for a good reason, and that's because there was no censorship. We're getting paid better too. And again, it's like Netflix, but for politics. But you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. You can sign up for free. So that's the advantage. Anyway, that's the plug. Again, I don't like spending too much time on the plug. And that's it, man. Oh yeah, of course. Again, I know I have to plug the Death Cult merch, because that's the thing now. So if you want a Death Cult t-shirt, go ahead and grab yours. The address is store.richardmedhurst.com. Isn't that tight? Look at that, man. Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. I think it's pretty tight. I'm waiting for mine to come in the mail. So anyway, thank you guys very much for your support. Thank you for tuning in. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And I love the little Q&As at the end, right? So by the way, I want to ask you another thing before you leave. What time zone are you in? And what is the best time for you, for me to stream? Let's do a little poll, a little survey. So just give me your time zone and a time. All right. And I'll try to work something out and do that maybe perhaps on, a regular basis. So yeah. I'm thinking about Lindsey Graham again. Lindsey Graham called Bernie Sanders a slut and no one cared. I mean, that is chieftain cuck status. Like that is another level of cuck. I mean, I hate saying that. I'm part joking. You have to understand. Like, I mean, despite all the shit that Bernie did, I don't think he deserves that much scorn. There are a lot of shitty people, Lindsey Graham being one of them, that are like way worse. Lindsey Graham was gloating about stealing Syrian oil. I never seen Bernie Sanders do that. Okay, so I mean, I'm gonna have to differentiate here. But that was funny. You have to admit that was funny. Like, I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that. I was like, what? Who said that? Oh god, that was just hilarious. Dude, it's a fucking Senate confirmation hearing. Oh god. Anyway. I mean, if Neera Tanden is being confirmed, it's already a circus. Like, what did we expect? What did we expect? So again, thank you guys very much. Thank you for those who tuned in on Rockfin and tipped on Rockfin. Thank you for those who tuned in on YouTube and tipped on YouTube, although YouTube takes 30% cut. I'm just telling you. Not complaining, I'm just telling you. So you know, also for others. But also thank you to everyone who signed up on Patreon. We got Nick, and I'm forgetting the other names, but I wanted to thank you again. And I appreciate it very much. We got... hold on, we got another super chat over here that I want to read. But I just want to say thank you to Nick, Shadow Band, Refugee, and Fingerman. And we got a donation here from Jean Manuel that says, for free Assange and comrade Britonia Spirovska. That's dope. That's dope. Britonia Spirovska. Hey, see? it's Britonia Spirovska. All right. I'm reading your comments about the time zone. So you're saying this is the best for me? Okay. Thank you, Fuddrucker. Says, I joined Rockfin for you. I appreciate that very much. And as I'm sure you can see, everyone else is here all the other channels. So this is a spot to be, and I appreciate it. Fred, it says Central U.S., Major Tom, PST, afternoon, evening, Seoul County. All right. That's the thing. It's pretty late for me, but I figured it's a 9-hour difference. So, right now it's what, afternoon in California? No, evening. So, it is what it is, man. Central. Okay. So I'm reading I'm reading the Rockfin comments. I'm reading the Rockfin comments. I'm going to go to the YouTube comments as well. Oh, by the way, we got another one from Sam. It says, put perks in the Patreon by amount like video chat. Do you mean like a tier or what? Because I think on YouTube right now, they let you do memberships. If that's what you mean with video chat. I'm not sure. But with Patreon, you can't change them. That's the thing. I don't think you can change them anymore. Like, my understanding was if you change the tier, like whatever, let's say the $2 one, if you have one, you're gonna like bounce everyone that's on that, and you have to ask them to go and sign up again. Is that true? Someone needs to clarify that for me. But there you go. Rob Tomorrow says, can you share videos with Rockfin like you can with YouTube? Yes, but the problem is people have to sign in. I mean, again, it's a free account. You don't have to pay anything. But yeah, I understand it's like a bit of a hurdle. It's not like YouTube. But in that regard, yeah. Connie says, does Venmo or PayPal charge you for tips? I think PayPal, but not Venmo or Cash App or the other ones. Anna is in Melbourne. Awesome. You guys are like 12 hours ahead or something, or 10 hours ahead. So, hold on. I'm trying to scroll through all these comments. I was trying to scroll through everything and get everything down. Thank you very much, Ignitable Bump. I will definitely see you on that next time. Thomas says MTN Central Time Zone. Okay, I'm not going to bore you to death with a bunch of time zones. I'll figure it out myself. But I appreciate you guys participating in this lovely little survey. So, thank you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. And be good. Be safe. All right? And we'll be live very soon. Take care.